WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Megan, you should have that sheet. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, you can stop this whenever you want. Thank you, Johnny. Good morning. It's Friday. You know, I just want to start by saying, I'm listening to everybody whine and complain about the dangers of next week when temperatures get really cold. Have we forgotten? I feel like every winter, when the winter begins, we forget what winter is. And you see it with people driving on the roads, right? And then you get a cold spell, which we usually get almost every year. Even when it's a warmer winter, we get something like this. And all of a sudden, what happens, Davey? You tell me, what happens?
What happens with the cold?
Megan, you tell me, what happens?
Well, people cry.
You get crying. Yeah, that is true. People are, like, forgetting the fact that this is what we deal with. You know, it's going to be cold.
Like death and taxes, winter is just a fact of life.
We do get cold spells. We do get temperatures that go up really high sometimes in the summer, and they go down really low in the wintertime. We'll be okay.
Bill's still going to wear shorts and flip-flops.
Listen, I'm a shorts person at home, and if you got to warm up, you put a blanket. Grab a blanket, right?
There you go.
That's comfortable. Okay, we have, how about the Southwest pilot? The flight gets delayed, and I think I'd be okay with it. If they're like, okay, we're delaying the flight, and then you see the pilot going off in handcuffs.
Oh.
I think I would be okay with the delay. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would be okay with it.
Yeah, so why was the
Drunk.
pilot really
Charged with DWI. I don't think even DWAI.
How about DW fly?
Well, DW grounded is what he ended up getting. And luckily, I think I'd be okay with that, right?
Absolutely. That's
I
a
don't
little
want
unsettling. How did no one else notice until he sat down in the cockpit?
Although, well, I really don't know that that's how it went down. But they did come on the plane. They had to come on the plane and take him off. And hold on, I dropped this. They did have to take him off, and they took him off in handcuffs. And then there was a 6-hour delay where they just kind of, everybody had to be redirected to different flights and everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's an excellent story. Like, hey, I'm sorry I'm late for the birth of, I don't know, my grandchild.
Yeah,
my
our
pilot was drunk.
was drunk and got taken off in handcuffs. Here's audio on it.
My husband just kind of looked over and he goes, "That's odd. There's a police officer on the plane."
And when they walked out with the pilot, my first comment to her was, "He's drunk." His face was red. He looked like he'd been out or tired or just hadn't slept.
Apparently, they have an 8-hour rule that you cannot fly the plane if you've been drinking within that 8 hours.
That's a pretty solid rule.
Had a drink within 8 hours. Now, my guess is that he got on the plane and maybe the co-pilot or somebody, maybe it was a steward or what do they call him now, flight attendant?
Yes.
Maybe it was one of them who said, "Boy, he reeks of alcohol and he's slurring his words.
Yeah.
I think we better tell somebody."
If you see something, say something, especially when you're going to be up 40,000 feet in the air.
And you know, the reality of this whole thing is it's just not the passengers that are up there. He's up there. They're all up there with him as well. So whether it be the co-pilot or the flight attendants or what have you.
Yeah, thank you for giving me another unnecessary fear whenever I board a plane next, Bill. Is my pilot sober?
Do you worry about flying? Are you a worry with flying?
Takeoff, for whatever reason, I get scared at takeoff, and then I'm fine for the rest of the flight.
Yeah. Although I will say that it does get a little bit, you do feel it's a little tricky when you get into some real bad
turbulence.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was flying to Japan in October, we hit nonstop bad turbulence all the way. We had to be directed. So normally
How bad was the turbulence? Was it just bumpy? Or?
Let's just say I could have put a martini in a shaker and left it on the ground, and it would have been perfectly shaken without any hands on it.
All right. Ice chips and all.
Shaken, not stirred.
Brandon Williams is now being appointed. You knew probably he was going to get something, and I thought he might actually consider running for the 21st Congressional District. Although, who's the guy we just heard from? I want to talk about him coming up in a...
Constantino.
He's
the guy that put the sign down there on.
Yes, we'll talk about him coming up in a second. But in this case, President-elect Donald Trump has appointed former Congressman Brandon Williams to serve as Undersecretary for Nuclear Security and the Administrator of the National Nuclear Security Administration in the Department of Energy. So that's a pretty big appointment. And of course, he was a nuclear sub officer in the Navy, and that's a pretty big deal for Brandon Williams.
So does that mean, Bill, that he's going to be working under the Secretary of Energy? That's getting confirmed, or is that another department inside the Department of Energy?
Well, if he is the Undersecretary, he would be. Yeah.
So he's the second in command then.
I believe so.
Congratulations.
That's a big appointment for him. And then you have this Constantine guy out of the
Anthony
Albany region, and he's running commercials. And I just want to tell you what those commercials are. He's trying to convince the committee chairs, the Republican committee chairs, that he's the guy. Look I'm the guy. I'm already running commercials, because right now there are no candidates. Robert Smullen is among the potential candidates. Joe with Mohawk Valley Materials, Rakowski is among those being named. But this guy is trying to get ahead of everybody by saying, look, I'm already running commercials.
I guess he's trying to show that he's ready for it.
I do find it to be a bit...
presumptuous?
Goofy is the word I would use, where it's like, he was there. When he put the sign up, they told him to take it down. But he wouldn't do it. He's loyal to President Trump.
Instead, he put up two signs.
Yeah.
He's the one that put the sign down on the thruway.
He is, but is that is that going to be our qualifier for Congress?
If that is, let's all run for office. Let's do it.
I just don't find that as being the reason why I would want to vote. Yeah, okay, you put a sign up, a big billboard, and they said it's a distraction to people on the thruways. Why? Or it might not have fit codes, I think, in Schenectady, wherever that was and wherever that happened. It might have been Amsterdam. Was it Amsterdam?
Yes.
Anyway, I don't find that as a qualifier. I think there are other candidates. Smullen has a great deal of experience in the military, and so does Joe Rakowski, who's also a very successful business person. So I'd be rooting for, in fact, for Joe. He's right here, lives in Rome. I think if you're from here, you really want your congressman to be from here. And let's not forget that Brandon Williams really never was from here. John
Mannion is from Syracuse.
John Mannion's at least in the district. Yeah. What else do we? Oh man, I got a bunch of comments already here this morning. We'll get to that coming up in a second. Willie Waffle coming up in a few minutes. Mention also we'll speak with our representatives here on the state level about Governor Nancy Hochul's State of the State address. And a lot of people with a lot of comments on it. We'll talk to Senator Griffo this morning, Assemblyman Brian Miller, Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw on all of that. Oh, Micah's free money question of the day today. How much money today are we looking at putting on the line here? One Davy?
$300.
$300. Okay, that's a good one this morning. $300 on the line. We'll do it at 7:35. Give you a chance to win $300. I'm going to break in a second. We'll let Megan update the news. You find today to be a welcome relief. It's like what is the temperature right now? We're at
It's like
19
19
degrees.
It went
now.
up 1 full degree.
It
That's
is-
awesome.
It is warming up. This weekend, I will tell you, I am going to say I'm worried.
About the Buffalo Bills?
I am, and I'm going to tell
Why?
you. I'm going to tell you why. For the first time, I am going to say that I'm worried.
Why?
I felt like Josh Allen in that snow game against who did he play?
San Francisco.
During that game, he played really well,
He sure did.
but the temperature was about 29 degrees.
Yeah, this is going to be brutally
The
cold.
last time he had a brutally cold game, wasn't it against
Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Yes.
I got to look that up. I'm
I
pretty
think it
sure it
was.
was. And I remember coming in that next morning on Monday and saying, man, or maybe it was Tuesday. I forget if it was a Monday night game, but saying, I just don't think Josh Allen plays well in the frigid cold.
And I think you said that was the worst he's ever played.
I think you said that, and I think you may. I think you may have been correct. So I am a little. That worries me. The cold really worries me.
Well, if the Bills' defense can step up, like I've been saying all this week, and stop Derrick Henry
Well, that's
and
gotta
Lamar
happen.
Jackson,
Yeah.
in the field conditions are like they were on that Sunday night game, Derrick Henry can't get his footing, then the Bills will have a chance. But if Derrick Henry erupts and goes through the Bills' defense like a tank going through a steel wall,
Yeah.
which is he is a tank, and I think the Bills are going to struggle. I'm picking the Bills.
I am as well, but I'm just saying I'm worried about the temperature. We're going to start out in the 20s, and that game plays around
6:30.
6:30, and I'm looking right now on Sunday,
And it's been snowing in Orchard Park since yesterday. I talked to someone that lives down there just to see how the weather was, and they said it's been it's been snowing quite a bit.
Well, the temperature is going to start out at around 30 degrees. At midnight, it'll be 32. And then it will continue to drop, going down to by 6 a.m., it'll be down to 20.
What about-
And then it'll be in the teens for game time. So I'm just a little worried about that. That's all.
Yeah, but like I said, pull it through the Buffalo Bills.
I'm certainly pulling for the Bills, and I certainly feel like they're going to win, but again, I'm worried.
So-
let's see. Matt in Holland Patton says Josh Allen is hungry for the win, so no reason to worry. The defense is going to be on point. The Bills will win. And then John from Bridgewater says, I hate the Bills. The Bills just blow. The Bills are going to lose. BS. F the Buffalo Bills. That's John in
Wow.
Bridgewater. He's all in.
That was almost a song.
Thank
or
you,
a
John.
poem.
Thank you, John in Bridgewater. We appreciate that. All right, coming up, we'll speak with Willie Waffle on the weekend. It's some really cool stuff to watch out there. One about guitars. Joe Bonamassa is all over this thing, and it's about a store in Hollywood. We'll get into that. There's the curious case of Natalia Grace, something to watch, and some movies. And then ... We'll get to Willie coming up in a few minutes. Stand by. Megan has news coming right up at WIBX.
Good morning. It's 6:33 and 18 degrees in Utica. A new analysis says the New York City metro area has the biggest problem with inflation in the United States. The site Wallet Hub compared the consumer price indexes for major metro areas, and their changes from this year to last year and this month to last month. They say the New York metro region, which stretches into parts of Pennsylvania, has the nation's biggest inflation problem. Atlanta, Honolulu, St. Louis, and LA round out the worst five. Houston, Phoenix, and Minneapolis, they say, have the smallest inflation problems. An Onondaga County grand jury has indicted an inmate who is accused of stabbing a deputy sheriff. It's alleged Jeffrey Tillman stabbed Deputy Eric Francis in the common room of his cell block at the Onondaga County Justice Center last Friday. Tillman is facing multiple charges, including attempted murder, and has been transferred to the Cortland County Jail. The investigation into how Tillman was able to get the knife is continuing. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says plans to put police officers on overnight New York City subway trains are moving forward quickly. The governor announced Thursday that subway riders will start seeing officers on every overnight train starting this coming Monday. The $77 million plan calls for 750 more police officers on platforms and in stations, and 300 more officers on overnight trains. As we discussed a few minutes ago, Bills fans heading to Highmark Stadium for Sunday's game, they're urged to dress appropriately as dangerously cold temperatures are expected. Wearing multiple layers is advised, as well as hand warmers. Fans are also reminded that Highmark Stadium allows battery-operated clothing inside to help maintain body temperature. Dr. Michael Galante, the facility medical director at Mercy Ambulatory Care Center, is also cautioning people against excessive alcohol consumption, as it can increase the chances of hypothermia. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone. Here is your full weather forecast.
Cloudy and cold out there today with scattered snow showers here this morning. High temperatures in the low part of the 30s. Cloudy overnight tonight, mid-20s. Afternoon rain or snow showers possible Saturday. It'll be breezy. Highs upper 30s to near 40. Colder Sunday, mostly cloudy, low 20s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Okay, we're at 19 degrees currently, and partly there is some snow falling out there. Some light snow, nothing to be all that worried about, but enough to make things a little bit on the slick side, so be aware of that.
And there's one school closing. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, we have Dowdesville, that is...
Oh, it just closed? It was on a 2-hour delay earlier. Oh.
Dowdesville is now closed. Dowdesville Central School is closed. They'll get a nice long weekend because Monday is Martin Luther King Day, so they already have that off. So they'll have a bit of a long weekend. Oh, Davey is telling us that he's been called for jury duty.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be big.
Is it going to be a big juicy case, Davey?
Well, I don't know. You have to call, right? And then they'll let you know if
after 5 o'clock.
If you've been pulled, number one, and if there is a case.
You never know.
You never know.
This summons
could be call.
This summons could have been for my dad.
Your father's name is the same?
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
But he went by.
And you're going to tell him what? You know how to get out of that?
Well, if it's
when you're sitting there in the courtroom and the attorney will ask you a question. And then you just shout out, "He's guilty!" Something like that.
Apparently, another way to get out of there is just to say you don't want to be there. You're not happy, you don't want to be there, and apparently if you come across as cantankerous and not like a person who is just going to be defiant and obstinate, they're going to cut you loose.
Kill them all. I see dead people, things like that. These are all lines that will work to get you out of it.
Hey, Davey, let's hear your best I see dead people.
Telling them you're in the media, and that will not work.
It doesn't.
I already tried it.
My aunt, I'll rat out her dirty secret. My dad was a state police lieutenant, so she tried to use that, saying, I can't be fair because my brother-in-law, and every single year for, I think, over a decade since she made that excuse, they keep bringing her in.
Oh, maybe they've given her a high priority because of that.
Or just to mess with her.
Just to mess with her. All right, coming up, we'll speak with Willie Waffle in a few minutes. As I mentioned, we're at 19 degrees, a little on the slick side out there. Nothing crazy, but Dowdesville Central School is now closed for the day. Stand by. We're coming right back at WIBX.
Hungry for something new? Discover Chef's Express, a bakery on a mission. Nestled in downtown Utica at 241 Genesee Street, they serve your favorite baked goods, mouth-watering breakfast sandwiches, savory lunches, and delicious desserts, plus catering options for your event. And every bite at Chef's Express helps people with disabilities in our community thrive. Stop in Monday through Friday or visit chefsexpressutica.com. That's Chef's Express. Great food with a greater purpose.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Feeling the winter blues? Warm up with us at Fit Body Boot Camp. Hey, it's Lisa, and I'm here to tell you that 2025 is the year to step into the best version of you. But what does that mean? That means feeling stronger, having more energy, and building more confidence. My incredible team and I will be with you every step of the way. And guess what? You can come in for free. That's right, 3 free on me with no commitment. Come see us and let's make this your best year yet at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
And then along came the special guest host.
Oh, yeah, Jeff will be in soon. Jeff Manaski will be in here this morning. Mike this morning says, yell out Blue Lives Matter. Just start yelling out Blue Lives Matter. They won't select you. And you...
Hi, I'm Pete from Big Apple Music, and whether it's your home or business, you have a lot invested. In the past, a camera surveillance system was an expensive luxury. Big Apple has now made it affordable. Big Apple is the area's leader when it comes to camera surveillance systems, having installed hundreds locally in homes and businesses. Big Apple is New York State licensed for security and camera surveillance, with most of our products sourced from American companies. Featuring Starlight Night Vision, our cameras dollar for dollar have the best night vision available. A camera surveillance system can offer full property coverage. It prevents and reduces crime, monitors high-risk areas like parking lots and showrooms, and Big Apple has a fully set-up showroom to give you real-time, realistic demonstrations of just how great a camera system can be for you. Stop in and see for yourself at Big Apple Music in New Hartford.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I just thought we'd pretend like nothing ever happened. Okay. Folks, I do not know what is going on with this equipment this week. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. So, Megan, what the hell? What is going on here? Do you know anything about this?
Gremlins.
Okay, seriously, I'm getting pissed. It's beginning to get ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I have to let the break go because otherwise it screws up the app. So, okay, once again, it's happened all week long. Don't know why, but it's so good to have really expensive equipment. I love it. What I was saying is Bob Uecker, the former Major League Baseball player who wasn't famous for playing baseball, but because of his amazing personality, passed away sadly yesterday. Davey Kamena, you can talk about him just a little bit, died yesterday after a battle with, he was a big smoker, after a battle with lung cancer. He was 90 years old, though. He appeared in all 3 Major League movies, Major League, and the sitcom Mr. You remember?
Mr. Baseball.
No, the sitcom.
Oh, Mr. Belvedere.
Right.
I remember watching this. It was on Friday on TGIF, like when Full House was on, Family Matters on Friday in that primetime spot, like from 8 until 10. It was a certain block of shows, mostly Full House and Family Matters, and Mr. Belvedere was part of it. Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I ever watched that show, but yeah. He also made a string of funny beer commercials in the 80s. One of those where he shows up for a game only to find out his seats are in the upper deck. That's what he was certainly known for. Here is that commercial.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. Down it, I love them. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
He missed the tag! He missed the tag!
Bob Uecker. And then funny appearances on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson as well led to his television, commercial, and sitcom work. Here's an example from 1971 when Johnny showed a baseball picture of Bob behind home plate after getting hit in the crotch by a fastball.
You were catcher.
Yes, I was. Chaser.
Chaser. Now, that is you down here?
Yes, that's me. That's my hidden ball trick.
What happened in that particular?
Well, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, he had his bell rung.
Yes. It's chimed for quite a while, doesn't it? Yes. All right.
So I got to tell you, Johnny Carson launched a lot of careers, and really he launched Bob Uecker's career. It was pretty amazing, actually.
So Bob Uecker, legendarily, of course, was in the movie Major League also. And just a quick funny story on that. I don't know exactly what the reason was, but I'll say give or take 10 years ago, I went around trying to find, first of all, if you wanted to watch a movie like Major League on, let's say, a Netflix.
Yeah.
It was like $12 or $15, and you know me, I'm not paying $12 or $15 to watch a movie I've seen
You'll
50 times.
Run a wire from your neighbor's house.
Absolutely. And so funny story. I ended up getting the DVD. It was at like one of these, almost like a it might have been World's Largest Yard Sale. Somebody had a whole stack of DVDs, and it was in there. I think I got it for $2. But it's funny that I'll tell a quick story about me. So my son one night wanted to watch the movie, and I said to him, well, because I was telling him how much I loved the movie, and we had watched Sandlot the weekend before.
Yeah.
This is when my son was still into baseball. I don't know if I've told you he's retired.
From baseball.
From baseball, yeah. It's very sad for me. But we start watching the movie, and I forgot, Uecker's in it, and there's actually a line in the movie where he's on the air, but they're so bad he swears, and he goes, don't worry, nobody's listening. But then they become good. But anyway, there's a lot of vulgar language in the movie, and my son looks at me, and he's like, Dad, I'm not supposed to be watching this movie. And I said, I think you're right, buddy. So we turned it off. So he's never seen the whole movie.
It's when you're sitting there watching a movie with your kids, and all of a sudden the sex breaks out that things will get a little uncomfortable.
And then Uecker, the clip there where he's either yelling at the umpire, it was outside, or he was safe. I had a flashback there last summer. I think.
I bet you did.
I just heard somebody yelling from the stands. What are you talking about, Blue?
Let me bring in. And by the way, Manaski sitting in here this morning. Andrew will be back on Monday, and on the line right now, the one and only Willie Waffle. Willie, good morning.
Good morning. And Major League is one of the greatest movies of all time. It is so hilarious.
It really is. Yeah.
You know what's funny too? It's an example of how the sequels and the trequels, or whatever they call them, go so downhill. The second Major League movie is so bad. Wesley Snipes, they found someone else to replace him. So it had that weird vibe where it's the same character, but it's a completely different actor. But yeah, that For Its Day was a really good movie. And by the way, you talk about For Its Day. I say For Its Day. That I had to explain to my son what team that was. And we got to the conversation about how they changed the logo.
Right.
Because they're the Guardians now.
Yeah.
That's like a term that
a lot of changes.
And I mentioned the umpire, and we'll get right to Willie. I'm sorry, I'm rambling here.
And there's still the Warriors in Whitesboro, depending on who you ask.
Well, what is it now? Blue?
No, it's nothing. They went with nothing.
Okay,
It's the Whitesboro.
Well, I read the newsletter. Obviously, my son goes there, and they said, we still encourage you to say blue and big blue and stuff like that. And I just, in my mind, kept thinking to myself, if everybody refers to this team as blue, so the kid, let's say, gets a hit, and there's a close play at first, and they yell, "Come on, blue!" I'm always going to think they're talking to me.
To the umpire.
Yeah, so I'm a little nervous about that. Stop yelling at me!
That's the deal. Willie, great movie. Bob Uecker started with Carson. He launched so many careers, Johnny Carson.
Oh yeah, well, and Euchre became such a big hit a lot through the beer commercials he was doing. But he has one of the most classic commercials ever. Where he's like, I'm a big deal. They're inviting me to the game, and then the usher comes like, you're in the wrong seats, buddy. He goes, oh, that's right. I must be in the front row, and it turns out he's in the top row.
Way in the top row. Yeah. I just actually just played audio from that commercial. That's a great spot.
Yeah,
one of the legendary spots, and also David Lynch passing away at the age of 78. I got to tell you, I think Bob Uecker at 90 looked younger than David Lynch at 78. But Lynch passing away.
David Lynch lived a hard life. He had emphysema towards the end.
Yeah,
and had a massive impact on his health, obviously.
But Twin Peaks. I mean, these were some really progressive. Blue Velvet, the movie. These were edgy.
He also did Mulholland Drive.
Yes,
I mean, David Lynch did all the really crazy, out there, quirky movies and TV shows that made you go, I like it, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was kind of that kooky kind of a vibe that he had.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's another one bites the dust, if you will. And also, I don't know. It's almost an event made for TV coming up on Monday. But I don't know if you know this, Willie. But the former president, Donald Trump, is being returned to the White House on Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a big deal. Now, I kind of dig the inauguration. Like, I'm one of those weird people. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to watch him walk over to St. John's Church. I love, kind of going back to, going towards the to the Capitol, the goodbye to the former president afterwards. All the moving trucks are moving into the White House at noon. I mean, I just love all the pomp and circumstance, and it's really quite amazing.
I was
kind of that handover of power.
I was at at the Bill Clinton. We were broadcasting from D.C. I was at the Bill Clinton inauguration.
Oh, my goodness.
And one of the most emotional moments of the whole thing was, now, can I just qualify that just for a second? I was at the Bill Clinton inauguration way in the back. We didn't have assigned seats or anything like that.
Trump said there wasn't that many people there. So.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to make it seem as if there I was holding the Bible. But I was there, but I got to tell you, being there in D.C., one of the most emotional moments of the whole thing is watching the helicopter fly over, and that was George Bush leaving the White House, exiting the presidency. That really is emotional, and we'll see that on Monday as well. Of course, it's going to fly a little funny, almost like it's stumbling a little, but it will hobbling, doing a shuffle. But that'll be kind of emotional as well. But a big day, so you're all in, and you have an interesting story about Trump.
I do. This is my favorite story of the week. Donald Trump has named his ambassadors to Hollywood. Yes, he needs ambassadors to Hollywood, to the whole idea of Hollywood. And he has chosen, now get ready for this, Jon Voight, Sylvester Stallone, and Mel Gibson.
Oh, and Mel Gibson of all people. Yes.
And so the idea is that, he
the
wants
lover
them
of Jews, Mel Gibson.
But he wants the three of them to bring to him concerns that Hollywood has, and really ideas to start ramping up Hollywood production of movies again, because so much stuff has moved to Vancouver in Eastern Europe, and there's a big push. There's a big push to provide federal tax breaks to productions that are going to actually be active in Hollywood. And so these are going to be some of his envoys, his people who will have those discussions.
I find that very. We've used Hollywood before through history. World War II, Roosevelt met with Hollywood, and the goal was to begin making movies that showed the U.S. in a good light, that showed patriotism and us winning, and Hollywood followed suit there.
Yeah, I think they're not going to follow suit as much here. But
Probably not.
This is Trump kind of saying, listen, this is where we can both make California great again.
Okay.
And I think that, and I also think that this is going to evolve. I think that there will be a lot of discussion about the rebuilding of Los Angeles and the areas that were burned out that I think will come from this in ways that the federal government will be able to get involved and help out. I think it actually could be a really big, massive thing. I honestly believe that there is also a political aspect to it. The idea of, hey, I think people in California aren't really happy with the current governor and the current mayor.
Right.
And, maybe there's a chance for a Republican for the first time in a long time.
Well, they're livid over both. And I think the mayor is completely finished. And if the governor had any aspirations for the presidency in 4 years, I don't think he can pull that off anymore after this.
I think it'll be really hard for Newsom. I do. I agree with you. I think that he's going to be hounded by this. But if California can rebound and they can kind of improve the situation and avoid disasters like this over the next few years, maybe he's got a modicum of a chance.
Yeah. All right.
Did I not hear that? I forget the name of the producer, if you will, Tyler Perry, maybe. That maybe it wasn't him. Somebody was building some new Hollywood studios out there. Maybe it was Elon. I'm sorry, I've got just some scattered info on this, but they were building this massive production studio, and then they realized with all the CGI and technology, they immediately stopped building it. They were about halfway through. Willie, does this ring a bell at all?
It's not ringing a bell, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason you're seeing more and more production outside of Hollywood is because you've got talent that has spread across, the country and the globe. And, a lot of work can be done remotely now.
Can be done remotely.
And here in upstate New York, too. Remember?
And we got about 3 minutes left. I'm running out of time. But I want to say this. The one thing that's very interesting is when a movie is made here in Utica or in Syracuse or even in Albany, but places like this, we go out. We roll out the red carpet. It is a big deal. If you make a movie in Hollywood or in New York City, you're paying up the wazoo for fees and you do not get
and lunch. It's expensive out there.
You do not get the cooperation that a smaller community would give you. And then going north to Canada has been a big deal for quite some time. For Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Vancouver is like Hollywood North.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to have no choice but lightning round. Here we go. Wolfman in theaters. What do you think?
That's right. It is the brooding Wolfman, a man who, he's trying to move his family to a nice little cabin in the woods. They have a run-in with an evil kind of animal. Dad gets scratched, and now, Dad's growing hair where hair wasn't before, and his temper is growing, and his teeth are growing, and this is not going to go well. I think they could have done better with the CGI. I think they could have made it a little bit more horror-oriented. I'm at like 2 waffles for Wolfman. It's an okay movie, but, I feel like, there was something that could have been ramped up here.
What do you think of Landman on
I
Netflix?
love Landman, and I got to get caught up so I can find out how it ends.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really good show with Billy Bob Thornton. Let's face it, it's a cool soap opera, and all the twists and turns of the different relationships really, to me, were fascinating.
30 seconds. Unstoppable. Amazon Prime.
Yeah, kind of a traditional feel-good sports movie, true story of Anthony Robles. He's a man born with only one leg, and he dreams of being a college wrestling champ, and every obstacle you can imagine is in front of him. I'm at 2.5 waffles.
Okay, and then A Real Pain on Hulu.
That's right, a movie that, mentions Binghamton in the wrong way.
Okay.
And, it's Oscar nominee Kieran Culkin, or he will, I think, be an Oscar nominee when they announce the nominations on Thursday.
That's Macaulay Culkin's brother, right? Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin's brother. It's a
How many waffles do you give it?
I'm at 3 waffles.
Okay, all right. I got to go, Willie. We'll talk next week.
Sorry,
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He's making history. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News. President Biden letting more people out of prison, so now he's given more pardons and commuted more sentences than any president ever.
President Biden saying this latest clemency action is an important step in correcting sentencing disparities after commuting the sentence of nearly 2,500 people convicted of nonviolent drug offenses who he says are serving disproportionately long sentences compared to the sentences they would receive today under current law.
That's Fox's Chanley Painter. Of course, the president's son Hunter is among the thousands who've either been pardoned or given a commutation. The president also going to give TikTok a reprieve, not planning to enforce a ban that could go into effect by law Sunday, since the social media app, considered a national security threat, does not cut ties to its Chinese parent company. President-elect Trump has suggested he might give TikTok an extension to work out a deal. Democratic Senator Ed Markey supports that, warning of
serious consequences for 170 million users, for 7 million businesses in our country that rely upon the platform.
Now, the Supreme Court could rule this morning on TikTok's attempt to put that ban on hold. Israel's security cabinet's meeting, considering that ceasefire agreement for Gaza negotiated with Hamas that would include the release of 33 hostages. But the Trump nominee to be ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, is wary, telling Fox.
You don't make peace with people like that. Hamas is not a government. It's criminals, it's terrorists, it's thugs, they're savages. And anything they say is not trustworthy.
Another Trump nominee goes to the Senate today for a confirmation hearing. Kristi Noem, who's up for Homeland Security Secretary, the day after hearings for 4 others, including Treasury Secretary nominee Scott Bessent.
Wall Street can continue to do well, maybe not as well, and it's time to have a Main Street small business-led recovery.
It's up to 27 deaths now in the Los Angeles wildfire disaster, with thousands of homes and buildings burned. America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela. Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
3 days before the change of power in Washington at the White House, there's a new Fox News poll about the outgoing president and the incoming one.
This poll shows just 42% of respondents said the job President Biden did was okay. Compare that to December 2020. 47% said they approved of the job then President Donald Trump had done. When it comes to personal opinions of both men as their presidencies wrapped up, President Biden is liked by 40% of voters. That does not beat Donald Trump's personal approval of 45% in late 2020. Right now, President Biden's 40% likability compares to what for President-elect Trump is an even 50-50 split. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The day after a farewell speech on primetime TV from the Oval Office, President Biden went to a military base in Virginia for a send-off as Commander-in-Chief.
Serving as your Commander-in-Chief has been the greatest honor of my life.
The president also honored with the Distinguished Public Service Medal. The Attorney General also said goodbye.
An emotional Attorney General Merrick Garland telling Justice Department staffers,
I will miss it. I will miss all of you.
Saying he is in awe of what the public servants of the department have done over the past 4 years.
To keep our country safe, to protect civil rights, and to uphold the rule of law.
Pushing back against those he says wrongly criticized the department as politically motivated.
You have worked to pursue justice, not politics.
And noting threats public servants have faced in recent years, adding the position is not a job, but a calling for those committed to protecting all Americans. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Now, the Trump nominee to replace Garland as Attorney General Pam Bondi just had 2 days of Senate confirmation hearing. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after selling. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. It is 7:05, 21 degrees, and snowing in Utica. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone. Crime is decreasing in the city of Utica, and Utica police have the stats to prove it. Authorities released their major crime review report and found that when comparing crime rates in 2023 to those of last year, there have been 16 fewer individuals shot. Last year, police responded to 83 shots fired incidents, made 15 arrests from non-fatality cases, recovered 16 ghost guns, and recovered 107 crime guns. In addition, the Shot Spotter program, which launched in September, detected 26 confirmed acts of gun violence in the city. Last year, police investigated 6 homicide victims, 1 more from 2023, and boasted a 77% solve rate on shooting investigations, including homicides, which is up 47% in 2023. New York authorities are warning residents about a robbery and sextortion scam. Police say they are investigating multiple complaints statewide who have reported being robbed during an encounter with what they believe to be an escort. When the victim arrives for the arranged date, they are robbed by the suspects. Other reports involved the victim being forcibly filmed and then being threatened to have the video posted on social media unless they pay the suspect. One district attorney, Michael Keene of Buffalo, says any victims or witnesses who have information on this crime or suspected human trafficking to contact his office or their local law enforcement agency. Former 22nd District Congressman Brandon Williams may be heading back to the nation's capital thanks to President-elect Donald Trump. Trump has nominated his fellow Republican to be the next Undersecretary for Nuclear Security and Administrator of the National Nuclear Security Administration in the U.S. Department of Energy. Williams ran for re-election in November but lost to Congressman John Mannion. Williams previously served as a nuclear submarine officer in the U.S. Navy. And folks who like to ride the rails have just a few hours left to take advantage of a great deal. Amtrak's USA Rail Pass is available through the end of the day for just $299, which is $200 off the regular price. That pass allows people to take 10 rides within 30 days to more than 500 locations across the United States. The pass is only valid for coach travel. For more information, head to Amtrak.com. It is 7:07, 21 degrees, and snowing in Utica. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone. Here is your full weather forecast.
Cloudy and cold out there today with scattered snow showers here this morning. High temperatures in the low part of the 30s. Cloudy overnight tonight, mid-20s. Afternoon rain or snow showers possible Saturday. It'll be breezy. Highs upper 30s to near 40. Colder Sunday, mostly cloudy, low 20s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
In sports, the divisional round of the NFL postseason is set to kick off this weekend. The action begins Saturday with 2-time defending Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs playing host the Houston Texans. That game will be followed by The Washington Commanders paying a visit to the NFC's top-seeded Detroit Lions. On Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles welcome the Los Angeles Rams to the city of brotherly love. The divisional round will be capped off with the Buffalo Bills hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Football fans didn't feel Super Wildcard Weekend was must-watch TV. That's according to the NFL and Nielsen, which reports that the 6 wildcard round games averaged 28.3 million viewers on television and streaming platforms. The games averaged 31.2 million last season, which marks a nearly 9.5% decline in viewership this year. The most-watched game was the Eagles and Packers, which averaged more than 35.5 million viewers on Sunday afternoon. The U.S. Department of Education published a memo saying many schools' plans for how they are going to distribute direct payments to athletes would violate Title IX. The NCAA and the organization's power conferences agreed to let each school share as much as $20.5 million in direct payments to its athletes in names, images, and likeness deals. A lot of schools have drawn up plans to give out most of the money to football and men's basketball players. The Office of Civil Rights, the division of the ED that enforces Title IX, said in its memo that payments should be looked at as athletic financial assistance and should be given out proportionately to male and female athletes. Title IX requires schools to provide proportionate financial aid to the amount of athletes of each gender. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. Every day, ZipRecruiter helps people who are actively looking for jobs like yours, so it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Feeling the winter blues? Warm up with us at Fit Body Boot Camp. Hey, it's Lisa, and I'm here to tell you that 2025 is the year to step into the best version of you. But what does that mean? That means feeling stronger, having more energy, and building more confidence. My incredible team and I will be with you every step of the way. And guess what? You can come in for free. That's right, 3 free on me with no commitment. Come see us and let's make this your best year yet at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hi, this is Ray Durso of the Genesis Group. If you're interested in keeping up with events and news in the Mohawk Valley region, I have the show for you. It's called This Week in the Mohawk Valley, and it airs every Sunday on WIBX. Join us as we talk with area business leaders, elected officials, law enforcement, educators, and more. Don't miss This Week in the Mohawk Valley every Sunday at 8:30 on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
This is Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
All right, Andrew's off today, and we'll be back on Monday. That kid takes more vacation than anybody I know. Hold on, I get the right mic on. Good morning.
You're not kidding.
Wow.
Boy, that's a good gig he got there,
Good
huh?
gig. He's got a good gig.
How do you get into that?
I think it's him getting engaged in wedding planning.
Well,
yeah.
So the fires in California, did the telephone lines go down in Florida? You can't call. You got to go down there every week.
I'm just
teasing.
saying he's enjoying the sunny Florida, although it's not that warm down there right now.
No, he brought the cold with him.
Yeah. Davey, who is on the line? What are you talking about?
Governor Gavin Newsom from California is apparently on the line.
He is on the line. Okay, let's see where this goes. Governor, good morning.
Good morning to you, Bill, and good morning to your listeners out there. Calling in from California. How are you?
Well, we feel terrible with what you guys are all going through right now. It's just I'm watching these videos. It's awful to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's tragic, and we acknowledge that we still have some work to do. But we're getting through it. Californians are tough. We're going to make it through this, and I'm just calling to let you know that while we are facing challenges out here, we're back in business. And we want people to come out here. We need tourists. We need people to come out. We're in business. I was in Santa Monica yesterday morning, for example. I was at the beach and went for a little swim. Now, unfortunately, that didn't go great. I did dunk my hair in the water, and there was a bit of an oil slick. Got some crews. They're working on cleaning that up. They promised me that's a week or two job.
All right, that's important. Yeah.
But we're back in business, I mean, there's a silver lining, Bill. Always a silver lining. The smoke from these fires has actually improved the Los Angeles air quality. There's always a silver lining. People used to say to me, that I failed to manage our forest, and now I can look them in the eye and say, what forest? I want to assure your listeners, too, that, we're working on protecting infrastructure here in California.
That's important. That is important.
It's crucial. It's crucial, Bill. And I want people to know that these fires have not affected even one of our plastic surgery drive-through windows. They're all up and running, Bill. So we need people to come out.
That is the most important thing. And from what I understand, you're making these calls across the country to try to let people know, and it's important to get out, come out and visit. Tourism is still, it still exists in California.
California's still hot.
It's a big state.
We're up and running. We're ready.
All right, Governor.
We want people to come.
Well, thank you, Governor, for taking the time to call us this morning. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you and your listeners up there in Oneida County. Thank you, Bill.
All right, have a great day. All right.
You too. Take care.
Good luck. All right.
That was
excellent.
That was excellent.
That real, of course, absolutely real. Clearly, the governor.
If you saw that video clip,
the oil slick line, I thought was just the funniest.
I like the what forest. What forest?
What forest?
Too
early, Megan. You look like it's too early. A little too early for that. Too soon.
That was a very good impression.
Actually, it was pretty good.
It was spot on.
Yeah, that was really good.
Did you see the clip of? Go ahead, Megan.
No, it's okay.
It was not an impression. It was the governor.
It was
Stop
the governor.
with that crap.
Yes, exactly.
Sakes.
But you know what? Sometimes people need to laugh through this. I've had friends who had to evacuate, and honestly, I think they would get a good chuckle because they do need something to laugh about up there.
There is no doubt.
Yeah, it's a tough time. There's that clip of a woman who approached. I don't know, she's a reporter and had a daughter in the school, but she approached Gavin Newsom and said, I'd like to talk to you. What are you doing?
This was unbelievable audio.
And,
I didn't see the video. I heard the audio.
But he said he was trying to call President Biden.
He's going through the president, and she said,
I want to hear. I don't believe.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm going to. Can I stay with you? And he said, yes, but and then at the end he didn't have cell coverage.
Yes, and he didn't actually have the president on the line. I think that woman was part of. She knew what she was doing.
Oh yes,
you could hear it in her voice, and then she's done a media tour since then. I'm not saying the shoe doesn't fit. I'm not saying that.
And the audio, and she recorded the audio and landed in at Fox News.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, she was a local reporter there because there was a cameraman right behind her, I think.
So she said, "I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I want to stick along and listen." And it never ended up happening.
Just maybe she wasn't. Look, could you imagine that if, let's say, there was a local disaster and Tony Picetti's on the phone with Obama, right? And you approach him and you go, "I don't believe you. I want to hear Obama's voice or Trump's voice."
Yes.
It's like, how pretentious are you? Who are you?
Yeah.
Get away from me.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the time to score political points.
No.
Well, but I'm not sure that that's what. I think it is the time to expose.
Yeah.
If the job is not being done properly, it's when is the wrong time to expose
Yes,
that?
that's a great
and that's
point.
really what she was trying to do.
Exposing wrong, but when people deliberately go out with the intent of scoring points and elevating their own profile, that's when it becomes disingenuous.
Well, I do that every morning.
And you get paid handsomely for it.
Oh, handsomely. Oh, yes. But listen, without that, I would disagree with you on this. Because I would say without that, I mean, whatever somebody's inspiration is, if that's what, it's all part of checks and balances. So if, like, what is that project that the far conservative project?
Oh, Project 2025 or something.
No. The one where the kid started and then he got other people on board and they were videotaping and they were kind of going behind the scenes. And you remember?
I don't.
It's Project Veritas.
Veritas, yes.
So one could say about that, well, you're trying to this is a gotcha moment. You're trying to get me. Oh well, I mean, if
we got you,
if they get you, they get
you.
you.
Yeah.
If you're doing something, if you can be lured into doing something wrong, oh well, they got you.
The only thing I have with people trying to score political points is that it could sully the message and the intent because there is that confirmation bias. If you go in there, let's say we're having a show and somebody comes in to expose that, let's say Jeff is secretly not a Buffalo Bills fan, and that's what they're trying to do.
Oh, yeah, I see where you're going. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where it becomes misleading.
But I'm all for that. All for it, and feel like that if that's what drives someone to uncover something, then I guess I'm
and
kind
hopefully
of okay
not
with
cherry pick facts then to prove
their
point.
If you're making something up, that's a different story. If you're deceiving people, that is a different story. But if at the end of the day you catch somebody doing something wrong, and remember, their inspiration for doing this is it may be profit. Mm-hmm. It may be fame. It may be
sowing discord and chaos.
A better job, and it may be just promoting your own political agenda.
Exactly.
Whatever that inspiration is, you must consider that, right? When you're considering the source, you have to consider that. But at the end of the day, if they catch somebody doing something wrong, oh well. Like the guy, Marion Barry, he's in the bathroom. I'm going way back. He's in the bathroom. He's doing crack cocaine. Somebody had a camera on him, and they were thinking when they videotaped that, they were thinking we're going to expose the mayor. They weren't thinking, let me just tape this for fun, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but they caught him, right? So I guess I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to just argue with you.
Yeah, we're exploring all bases here.
I'm just trying to argue with you. I'm really not. Let me go with Mike and Skyler. Hello, Michael. Hello.
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning. I just, I spent an entire career with people saying, why do you need to do that? Why do you have to do? Why do you need to?
Yeah, I was going to say you of anybody else, right?
I'm the wrong person to have that argument with. So, I'm doing it because it sounds like it's fun. That's why we're doing it. You remember when I first started here, Manaski? That was the question that was asked often.
Yes.
Why do you need to have that person on?
Yes, I do remember that.
Those days seem to have withered away, along with about 35% of our workforce. Mike and Skyler, good morning.
I'm still waiting for you to get that greatest hits. Because I know a while ago you said, remember the old classics you play once in a while from the Rock 107 and Rock. You had those, but I still can't. I lost mine, but you have to get that release one these days.
We're gonna just so you know, I'm now working on digitizing all of my old stuff.
I was going to say, you could probably come up with it, but it's on a VHS,
it's
isn't
awful. Let me tell you something. I have VHS. I have thousands of cassette tapes.
Yeah.
I
know I moved them.
Thousands, yeah. I mean, it got so bad one day I was just like, screw it. I'm just throwing them out. I just threw a whole bunch of stuff out, and I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, no.
But I have, stuff going back to 1989, actually back even further than that. But some really great stuff that often people will ask for. And remember when you did that, such and such a thing way back? Can you send me that audio clip? Well, we're going to put it all up, and it's all going to go up on YouTube or somewhere. But, man, it's taken me hours. In fact, Matt Barbuto, who worked with us back in part of those days, has been digitizing stuff, and we're going to meet up later today, as a matter of fact. And I get a whole bunch of stuff that he has digitized. So digitizing meaning taking it off those old tapes, and then with video stuff, you know, Mike, they were offering big money. Those documentaries on Woodstock were offering a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I knew I had two things that were big. I had video from the entire weekend, and I had we were there when the fires broke out. I had all the video from the fires.
Oh, my God.
I had video of Red Hot Chili Pepper. That's when that all went down. I also had audio of the police audio. So when everything started to go bad, all of that audio was recorded. Now, somewhere I had that. They were offering $10,000 for me to come up with that footage. And I know other people in the area who sold footage to them.
Yeah.
And I could not find it. So now they have come up with the documentaries, and they've been released.
Multiple.
More than one. And guess what I found last week?
Bill.
What'd you find?
I found the footage. And now they're not paying now. So there's 10 grand. There's 10 grand down the tubes.
At least.
Yeah.
At least 10 grand.
At least. Yeah.
Does your wife know?
She is not happy. She said, "This is why I told you everything. Catalog anything. You don't know where anything is. Everything's just in boxes."
Yeah.
That's because you have me shoveling the driveway all the time. For God's sakes. Anyway, Mike, what's going on? I'm sorry to take up your time.
The Escape at Dannemore. That's the Ben Stiller executive producer of it. Now, are you watching that?
Isn't that old?
Yeah, that's old.
No.
Is there a new one?
Is the one filmed in the area? It's in this.
Yeah, but it's old though. That came out 5 years ago.
So
maybe
it's older.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the one where the woman. The woman looks just like her, doesn't she? That plays her. Yeah.
Patricia Arquette's in it.
Yes.
So
that's old.
So the funny part is Severance, because then that just released today, the second season, the first episode.
And didn't they tape it at the train station?
Utica train station, yes.
Is that on today?
And Stiller, that came out today, season 2 is the first episode. And they're releasing it. It's on Apple TV.
Okay.
They're releasing an episode every week. The first one came out today. I'm not sure which episode has the Utica train station, but ironically enough, so Ben Stiller's the producer of that one too. He's the one, because he was in the area, so is Christopher Walken. And Patricia Arquette is in that, too. She's in both. She was in the old one and the one that just came out today.
I thought Patricia Arquette played an amazing part in that Dannemora thing.
I thought she was excellent.
Yeah, she was really good.
Shirt. She was wearing a Utica shirt because she's just... and so I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
But I never watched that, so I'm going to watch that.
All right, I will check it. And what was the bit you were looking for? What was that bit you were talking about that we had done years ago?
The one I was looking for?
Yeah.
I remember they were doing. I remember the auto commercial there when you prank people. Then the one that got the prank on you. Remember they had the prank on you, and then they was all on.
So we would always call people up. So we would always call people, obviously, and prank call them. And one time, funny when you bring these things up, I remember a lot about this. In fact, I know it was Dave and Donna Jordan from Sequoit, and they wanted me. And before I had known them, they asked me to do a prank call. So Donna had called up and said, do a prank call or however it worked out, and asked for Dave. And I did. And, you don't want to hurt anybody, right? So I called up and we had this whole scenario. I'm calling the bill collector. I'm going to whatever. And I asked for Dave, and she said, oh, my God, Dave just died.
Yep.
Oh, and I felt terrible. And she's like, I can't believe you. And then I had to tell her, I'm so sorry. This is a prank call, and I don't mean to. So I'm going through this whole thing, and she's making me feel awful. And at the end of the whole thing, they're like, ha, we got you. And they did.
I remember you saying, oh, my God. I remember you saying that.
I felt terrible. Yeah. They got me really good there.
I like the one where you guys went into the convenience store. You and Brad. You went to the
Brad
convenience
Davies
store,
went
too.
in, and that was Light Fingers. He went in as a shoplifter, and we called the
Did you
store.
expose him?
Shoplifter,
We
that's
called
right.
the store and said there's a guy in a blue jacket, and he's a shoplifter. Now, don't worry, he's not dangerous. But if you yell out to him, if you yell to him and call him Light Fingers, he usually feels exposed and he'll run out of the store. I said, just try it. And there's a pause, and all of a sudden the clerk said, Light Fingers. And that's all we wanted her to do. And
Yes, I wish I could get that tape again. So yeah, you gotta get those
all that
out
stuff
there.
all that stuff we're going to put up. It's worth putting up there, and so people can hear.
Sounds good. I still got your CD from when the Christmas one. I still have that. When you were, I think
Rhode Island, but yeah,
Rhode Island. Right, that's right.
All right, Michael, you have a wonderful weekend. We're working on all that stuff.
You too.
Okay.
You too.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Take care, everyone.
Marianne Buttonshaw, Assemblywoman. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I remember the time that I prank called Marianne Buttonshaw. Actually, I never did that. Actually, we sent her Jeff.
That was enough of a prank.
Jeff became an employee, and she said, "How could you prank me like this?"
This guy doesn't do any work.
Good morning, Marianne, Assemblywoman. Thank you for. I just wanted to get your take on the governor's state of the state.
So, just to set the record straight, Jeff is a hard worker.
Yes, he is. He's very hard worker. Thank you.
But clearly, the state of the state, I look at it as an introduction of the governor's priorities. It doesn't, as we move forward over the next 3 months as legislators, our job is to bring forward the concerns in the districts that we represent.
Yeah.
So mental health, obviously very important. Public safety, one. That if we're going to take a look at discovery, speedy trial, I had always brought individuals out that provided insight to the governor as well as the leadership in the assembly, and we're being heard. So on those aspects, it makes me optimistic over the next 3 months. But with education, very minimal, healthcare, minimal comments, and many are asking, what does that mean? In higher ed, talking about free education for 25 to 55 years old, we have Excelsior. But if we're going to look at careers that are in desperate need, but I'm not sure what doesn't fall into that. Tell me what career individual. So, and then early intervention, very, very important when we're talking about child care. And we take a look at other states across this country and how they do it, and the importance of emphasizing this early intervention, is whether it's daycare or after school programs.
Yeah. Can I ask you what is the governor's plan when it comes to foundation aid for schools? Because they really gave everything to the Rockefeller Institute to do an in-depth study on this. And I think that, what everybody in education is saying when it came back, there are a lot of really good things, but there are some things in there that are not good and would really hurt school districts in our area. How is the governor how does she plan to proceed with that?
Well, I think that there is no answer at this point.
Okay.
I guess that would be a question directly for her administration. I can tell you in the assembly, we have had many discussions. I sit on the education committee, so clearly understanding that it is a diverse state, but my first concern is the Mohawk Valley. Yeah. And we have many good experts and insight that will provide what is best for the districts that I represent.
All right. So really, we're now waiting on the budget proposal, right?
Yes. So that's where, shall we say, the ideas that were expressed this week. Now, how would we be able to fund them? And funding is the most important aspect. I mean, do we have the resources of what proposals were put forward?
Well, like anything else, how do you pay for this stuff? That's, that seems to be always the question. You want to add something?
I was just going to say, hopefully, unlike California, Governor Hochul's priorities are in order, where she's not taking away funding for essential things like school aid, et cetera, to fund other programs.
Well, there's the fear that money, and it's already happened, where money is taken away from education and used towards finding a way to house these immigrants who've come in, these illegal immigrants who've come into the state. That becomes certainly a financial problem as well. So I guess it's a wait and see, Marianne.
Well, right now I have taken on a leadership role. I'm the chair of small business now within the assembly. So as we've met, the conversation is that everything is interrelated, because if people don't feel safe, our businesses can't thrive. If individuals within the educational component that you brought up, that is very valuable. But Jeff, as you know, anyone that has come to the office, they have a passion and they have a desire of good work. And it's tough when you say these are the most important aspects. You know, if we don't have decent health care, it affects our education. If we don't have the educational components, it affects our economy. So each one of these are interrelated. So I attempt to take a look at them holistically to determine what is best.
I have Kathy in Rome with a quick question for you, Marianne. Kathy, good morning. You're on with Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw.
Good morning. I'm kind of concerned about the climate program that the governor's trying to impose. I'm thinking everybody's going to turn around and pay it. I had heard that people that heat with oil, you could be possibly looking at a flat tax per gallon on oil. Now, I just had my tank filled, $130 130 gallons had gone in, and I paid almost $500.
Okay.
Now, if we get a tax on the oil, how's that going to help?
And there's that issue, and then obviously the issue of large trucks, like the sale of Mack trucks, that whole electric versus gas operated, and the school bus mandate. Are we going anywhere on that? Did she discuss any of that? Did she back away from any of that?
Well, the only thank you, Kathy, for that point.
Kathy, I'm going to let you go and let you listen, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Right, thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you. Whether you call it a tax or a surcharge, it's still the same. It's going to cost you.
Yeah.
And as far as the points that you brought up, there was no specific discussions that we're seeing on identifying, electrifying, and as you said, Utica Mac. We continue to have those discussions directly with the governor's office so that Tom is heard, as well as Tom just represents so many others. But more importantly, the positive aspect was the discussion of nuclear. And nuclear power is something that has to be considered if we're going to talk about alternatives. We have been, it's been identified that the electrifying of everything can happen. We just don't have the infrastructure.
Right, we don't have it.
What else are we going to do? Kathy uses oil. I use propane. So each one of us have different aspects of how do we ensure our house is heated. We have below zero weather coming next week, so it's a concern for everyone.
Yeah. All right, Marianne, we appreciate your time this morning, and we'll see what her budget entails coming out next week.
Well, thank you again, and it's great to talk to all of you. Have a good day.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw. Still, you have these restrictions that are on right next door to us, Utica Mac. They have to sell so many electric vehicles before they can sell a gas vehicle. The problem is we're not talking about cars. We're talking about these big Mack trucks. And that if you think we don't have the infrastructure for school buses and for just I can only tell you I drive a hybrid, and finding a place where you can plug in. There's two things here. Finding a place where you can plug in, and then finding a time to be able to say, all right, I'm going to plug in, and it's going to take 2 hours for that vehicle to fully charge. I don't have that 2 hours. If you're driving on the thruway, you may find one. There are a few of them. There aren't a ton of them, but you're going to sit there and sit at one of the rest areas for 2 hours. What's a tractor trailer going to do? I mean, we are not even close to ready. That's the problem. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. All right, Megan does news, and then we will get into Hobica's free money question of the day. Davey's already said it's worth $300 today. $300.
Can I just throw something at you before I forget?
Nope, you can't.
Okay, that's
fine.
You
can. Okay.
All right, so on Mike's call, he talked about Escape at Dannemora. There is another show on Netflix called Love on the Run, and it involves a similar type situation.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, if you watch the trailer.
But he was talking about the one where Arquette is in it.
Yes.
And that definitely is older.
Yes,
that's like 5 years old.
Yeah, because that, I think, premiered on HBO or something, and now it's made its way to Netflix. But this one is excellent, and I hate to say this because I don't want to make it about the looks, but the woman in this, and this is real life, this is not a reenactment. There's interviews with people she knew. It's like a docuseries.
Yeah.
She looks so much like the, what was her name? She had a nickname, the girl from
the woman who tried to, who helped
she
them
looks
escape.
so much like her. It's amazing to me. But in this case as well, again, spoiler alert, but you get this when you watch the trailer. She ends up falling in love with an inmate that she's overseeing. And
so
chaos
story.
ensues. Yeah, and it's an excellent story. I encourage people to watch it. I also watched last night. Have you seen the Zodiac thing? This is the Zodiac
we watched that
speaking.
a while. Yeah,
I didn't realize it was out.
Yeah.
I let my Netflix lapse, but I watched it last night, all 3 episodes. That was really good. I feel like that's underreported.
There's a lot of stuff out there right now, but then you get to that lull where you've watched all the things you want to watch, and just like in regular cable TV, you're sitting there like, what are we going to do? There's nothing to watch tonight.
I know. My son is like this.
It's tough.
Dad, there's nothing on.
Megan has news coming up in a second. The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Daylight Donuts. You know they make their donuts there fresh every day. They're not shipped in from somewhere. These are made fresh every single day right at Daylight Donuts. And you can smell the sweet aroma. I'm just thinking about it right now. The drive-thru is lightning fast. You could try the avocado toast, which is on French peasant bread from Heidelberg. Really, really good.
Oh, my gosh.
Very good. Be a good stop for you today. And you know that drive-thru is fast. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Megan does news, then free money from Hobica coming up.
If you thought about a bed you can make soft and firm on each side before you buy one anywhere, shop the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort at Mattress Express. Compare features, compare price, and compare warranty. 5 years, no interest, no money down for qualified buyers.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Good morning. It is 7:41, 21 degrees, and snow is expected to stop in 7 minutes in the Utica area. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone. The Buffalo Bills will have quite a challenge on their hands as they look to advance in the NFL playoffs this weekend. The Bills and MVP candidate Josh Allen are hosting the Baltimore Ravens and their MVP candidate quarterback Lamar Jackson at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. When these two teams met in the regular season, Baltimore dominated the Bills on their way to a 35-10 victory. Kickoff for Sunday's contest is set for 6:30 p.m. Bills fans heading to Highmark Stadium for the game are urged to dress appropriately as dangerously cold temperatures are expected. Wearing multiple layers is advised, as well as hand warmers. Fans are also reminded that Highmark Stadium allows battery-operated clothing inside to help maintain body temperature. Dr. Michael Galante, the facility medical director at Mercy Ambulatory Care Center, is also cautioning people against excessive alcohol consumption, as it can increase the chances of hypothermia. Young women are getting cancer diagnoses at almost twice the rate of young men. A new report from the American Cancer Society shows a change in diagnoses demographics. They're moving from older to younger adults and from men to women. Middle-aged women now have a slightly higher cancer risk than men their age. Breast and thyroid cancers in women are driving that trend. The lead author says those two cancers account for nearly half of all cancer diagnoses in women under 50. And Brooklyn's Floyd Bennett Field is no longer being used as a migrant shelter. At one point, the old airfield and Naval Air Station was host to some 2,000 migrants. But very quietly Wednesday, the field became just a national park again. The final tents housing migrants coming down about a month after Mayor Eric Adams announced remaining residents would be placed in other city-run shelters. Nearby residents protested as the first migrants came to the field in November 2023. As he toured the park Saturday with reporters, Adams apologized to those residents, blaming the federal government in the process. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. It is 21 degrees in Utica with snow stopping in about 5 minutes. I'm Megan Stone. Your full weather forecast up next.
Cloudy and cold out there today with scattered snow showers here this morning. High temperatures in the low part of the 30s. Cloudy overnight tonight, mid-20s. Afternoon rain or snow showers possible Saturday. It'll be breezy. Highs upper 30s to near 40. Colder Sunday, mostly cloudy, low 20s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Okay, currently we are at 21 degrees with a little snow falling out there. And as Megan said, that'll be ceasing real soon. Davey, it's time for Hobica's free money question of the day. Each day at this time, we give somebody a chance to win cash. Davey, out of nowhere, just picks a number. And today it is $300. What caller number are you looking for there, Davey? What are you looking for?
Caller 15.
Caller 15. Okay. You are something, Davey. You are something. Caller number 15 right now, 315-736-0186. Your chance to win some dough from Hobica and WIBX. Start the new year debt-free and stress-free with GPO Federal Credit Union. It sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Well, it could come true. Simplify your finances with balance transfer rates as low as 3.99% APR for 12 months, or consolidate high-interest debt in one manageable payment with their personal loans. And it doesn't stop there. GPO has partnered with a program called Balance to provide you with free virtual or in-person sessions with financial advisors. Together, they'll create a personalized plan to help you take control of your finances and achieve your goals. Why wait? Call them today. Let GPO help you start fresh here in 2025. Visit GPO FCU, Federal Credit Union, GPOFCU.com, or stop by any branch today. Debt-free, stress-free. Start your journey with GPO today. Subject to credit approval, membership eligibility required. Rates and terms based on credit worthiness. Balance transfer rates reverts back to normal card rate after the 12th month. Contact GPO for more information. We'll do that question for $300 coming up next to WIBX.
It's a winter wonderland of deals at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. Drive in to unbeatable offers on vehicles built to handle snow and ice. Lease the 2025 Equinox LT all-wheel drive for only $369 a month. Or tackle winter with the 2024 Silverado Crew Cab LT four-wheel drive. Lease for just $425 a month. Hurry, these deals won't last. Offers end January 31st.
Customers must qualify with top-tier credit through GM Financial. Lease terms of 3 years, 10,000 miles per year. Mileage penalty of 25 cents per mile over 30,000 miles. Lessee must have a current Chevy lease in the household. Customer must qualify and sign up for the new GM card. All taxes, fees, $2,000 down on first payment due at delivery. Equinox stock number 25230. Silverado stock number 24621. See salesperson for details.
Find your perfect winter ride today at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, where it's always easy to do business. Together, let's drive.
New year, new job? Warner Sales and Service is looking for a mechanic, someone with mechanical abilities interested in working on small engines, new equipment setup, and some basic diesel and hydraulic repairs. You'd be working on the complete line of Bobcat construction equipment and Hustler turf equipment. Applicants must have 1 to 2 years experience or training in engine mechanics, have strong diagnostic abilities, and be able to follow troubleshooting procedure and service manual instructions. Apply today at their office just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, or online at warnerss.com.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Feeling the winter blues? Warm up with us at Fit Body Boot Camp. Hey, it's Lisa, and I'm here to tell you that 2025 is the year to step into the best version of you. But what does that mean? That means feeling stronger, having more energy, and building more confidence. My incredible team and I will be with you every step of the way. And guess what? You can come in for free. That's right, 3 free on me with no commitment. Come see us and let's make this your best year yet at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Well, good morning. Good morning. According to Mike this morning, I mentioned that that Andrew is off today. According to Mike, he has some inside information. Rumor has it Andrew is not out in Florida. He's not planning a wedding. He is not in Florida. He's actually in California filming the sequel of the movie to the movie Wolfman. If you've ever seen Andrew in a bathing suit, boy, oh boy. I'm going to tell you, Andrew shaves at 2 o'clock. There's a 5 o'clock shadow. Andrew has a 5 o'clock beard by the time he gets to 5 o'clock. And that's where I think Mike is going. Waiting for the big finish, Davey. Still waiting. It's coming. Here it is. Boom!
So before I had my health issues, I used to have a full head of hair like Andrew, but real thick brown.
You had dark hair?
Yes.
I can't picture you.
I have a picture. I'll see if I can bring it up and show you.
Yeah.
I used to have to go to the barber or the beautician every 6 weeks. My sister used to call me when my hair you used to get shaggy that I used to look like Elvis.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. Yeah. If only Andrew were here, we'd be dealing with some thank you very muches.
Well, did he take the week off because the Packers lost? Is that why?
I think so. He kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I think he knew it was coming.
Are you worried?
I will tell you about that in a second. I do have some worry, and I'm going to tell you what it is. We talked about it a bit earlier. Bruno is in Frankfurt. Hello, Bruno.
Good morning.
Is that your real name?
No.
Are you on the witness protection program?
I am.
Yeah. You ready to take a shot at this? It's worth $300.
Very good. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Disguising his voice also?
Mm-hmm.
Or he's got toast in his
Underground.
mouth?
Underground.
He's underground. He's underground. All right, here is your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer it. And you probably should begin right now. Here we go. The world's largest desert is located on what continent? Ready, go.
Africa.
Is it the continent of Africa?
So
No.
That's the obvious guess, of course.
That is the obvious guess.
You usually have a tie into something local, so I'm going to say it's either or it's the opposite of what you think. So it's either going to be North America or Antarctica.
That is a great way of looking at it. So
I know you. I worked with you for a couple of weeks one time.
So you did. A couple times, actually.
Times.
Which do you choose? Do you choose North America or Antarctica? You must have
I'm
one
gonna go
answer.
up north.
The correct answer is, and Bruno, let me tell you, the thing that always angered me is normally Manaski would come out with the answer before you got the answer, and he'd screw up the contest. The answer is the Antarctic Desert, located in the continent of Antarctica. So
how about that?
Yeah. Sometimes it is that pick the opposite.
Yeah.
And that's exactly.
Sometimes it's every day.
Yeah.
The answer is either local or the opposite of what you thought.
The only difference, though,
there.
is that Antarctica is the southernmost continent on Earth, and not the northernmost continent on Earth. It's surrounded by
the ball spins.
Surrounded by the Southern Ocean. That's right. At some point, you'd be right. Yeah. All right, Bruno. We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. It's good at Aquavino, at Babes, at any of the hockey games, soccer games, any of the Odd or the Adirondack Bank Center, or at Nexus, 72 Tavern and Grill. All of that. The list goes on. Stand by. Megan is going to treat you to this. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Bruno. Thank you. Or whatever your name is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You asked me a question about Manaski's in for and what's did I hold on? What's wrong? What do you if you're mouthing?
That is Paul Buckley on line 2. He has a big announcement about severance right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Right. I'd rather have you turn your mic on than my lip reading has gone right down the tubes.
Yeah.
Terrible. I cannot read lips. Except for Davies, who just sit there together and never move.
Here's what he's saying. He's not saying anything right now. He's still not saying anything.
All right. So apparently we're doing breaking news with Paul Buckley. Da-da-da-da-da. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are all of you doing?
We're doing well. We're hating the weather.
I was going to do my
doing
Stefan, but I said it's not good enough.
Well, hello, Paul.
Hello, Bill. So I was editing the footage from New Year's Eve, and Stefan's down there giving the mayor like freaky fingers or something. I couldn't figure out what the hell it was, but anyway, he was down there, and omnipresent as always. So
that's a thumbs up, by the way. Yes. All right.
Yes. All right. So I texted Grace Kwan, who was the line producer for Severance when they were here in Utica. I met her. We got along pretty well. And I texted the other day. I go, when are we going to see the scene at the
train station?
Right, Union Station. And so she goes, probably see. It's the new season starts tonight, so it'll probably be episode 9. She said.
Oh,
episode 9.
So it will not be tonight. It's episode 9. No. Do they drop all the episodes when they?
I don't know.
Or they do it like HBO. I don't know either.
I don't know, but I'm sure you'll be able to Google them or whatever, or go back and and rewatch them at whatever you want to.
I got to tell you, I've not seen Severance, but anybody that watches it says it's really good.
I saw clips of it. And it's very sci-fi, way above my interest. But anyway,
right. So episode number 9 will feature Union Station.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Yes.
Number 9.
You are a reference to the White Album, the Beatles.
Yes, William.
Good stuff.
So sharp.
Good stuff,
You're
Paul.
So sharp. All right, kiddies. I love you guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, you do the same. Thank you. Go Bills.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, thanks.
Speaking
Speaking of Go Bills, I, up until this point, have felt like this is a Bills win by 2 touchdowns.
Against the Ravens?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Number one, it's hard to beat a team twice unless you're Los Angeles and you're playing the Vikings. It's hard to beat a team twice, right? And that was a different Buffalo team. But I'm going to tell you this, and I know they have to be working on it. If we're seeing it, they have to be seeing it. You would think they have to be seeing it. I'm going to tell you this. Josh Allen doesn't play well in the very, very frigid cold. That worries me. Every time you hit the ground, well, this guy, he'll take a hit. It doesn't matter. But there's something about that frigid cold. You might know it as you're driving down the road with an open door delivering packages.
There's no question.
It's cold. The ground is harder. The steering wheel is more hard. It's harder.
Your shoulders hurt when you turn the wheel. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I worry about that. Now, if I remember correctly, and maybe Megan, you could do a little research on this. When the Bills played the Ravens earlier in the season, that was also in Buffalo, wasn't it?
No, that was in Baltimore.
It was in Baltimore. What was the temperature? Probably not that cold. That wasn't one of the cold games. But there was a very cold, frigid game that he played this year, and he did not play well. It was one of their losses. I worry about that. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? The coldest game temperature in Ravens history was below 20 degrees, but most recently, Baltimore hosted the Atlanta Falcons Christmas Eve 2022, and it was 17 degrees. So they consider 17 frigid.
Really frigid.
And meanwhile, Buffalo is just like, oh, that's a nice lukewarm shower for us.
Well, but not Josh Allen. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he is not a fan of the cold weather, although he played really well in the snow this year against San Francisco.
Oh, I'm sure playing in the snow is a
little bit
bucket
different.
of fun.
Nonetheless, but what is it like for you? Because you left and decided, you know what? I don't want to think. I spent my entire career working. I don't want to think. I just want to drive. And so you're driving for FedEx. How is it?
I'm over it. I'm
okay,
over it.
You're
Yeah.
over it.
I want to think again. I
It's
want to be
cold.
a thinking man.
It's
no. It's this time of year is brutal.
All right,
I'll tell you the toughest part is climbing snowbanks.
We'll hit on this on the other side of the break. We do news next. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. A Town Square media station.
A blue president saved red states. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Biden claims for the first time 3 days before he leaves office.
We've invested more in red states than blue states.
Telling MSNBC.
For two reasons. One, red states really screwed up in terms of the way they handle their economy and the way they handle manufacturing, the way they handle access to supply chains.
He did not provide any figures to back up his claims that red states would basically be in great depressions without his administration's steady hand.
That's Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. Now, this morning, the president commuted more prison sentences, this time for nearly 2,500 nonviolent drug offenders.
The president says the recipients are all serving disproportionately long sentences compared to what they would have received today under current law. With the commutations, President Biden has now issued more individual pardons and commutations than any other president in history.
Fox's Jared Halpern. As he leaves office, President Biden is not going to get involved in the TikTok drama, not planning to enforce a ban Sunday on the social media app considered a national security threat but used by 170 million Americans. TikTok is yet to cut ties, as instructed by law, to its Chinese parent company. The Supreme Court may rule this morning.
Pausing enforcement of the law, delaying the ban, and giving the court more time to ultimately decide this case. That's exactly what President-elect Trump is urging the court to do. He filed a brief asking the court, pause this ban, give his administration a shot at trying to negotiate a solution.
Fox Business Network's Lydia Hu. Another Trump nominee goes to the Senate next hour for a confirmation hearing. Governor Kristi Noem from South Dakota for Homeland Security Secretary.
No one plans to say, in part, securing our homeland is a serious sacred trust that must be relentlessly pursued and can never be taken for granted. Being safe within our borders is an American right, yet Americans feel less safe than they have in decades.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Israel's security cabinet's meeting now, considering the ceasefire deal for Gaza. Hamas agreed to that would include hostage release. America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
3 days before the Trump return to the White House, he'll have a visitor today at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who, unlike other Democratic mayors and governors, showed support for the president-elect's plans for mass deportation of illegal immigrants, those who commit crimes first. But that may not be their only topic for discussion.
It's not unusual to see politicians trying to mend fences during presidential transitions, but critics see the outreach by New York City Mayor Eric Adams to President-elect Donald Trump as an act of self-preservation. The Democratic mayor is making this latest friendly overture as he awaits trial on federal corruption charges he denies. As president, Trump would have the power to pardon Adams or pressure the Justice Department to drop the charges. Still, a spokesman for the mayor says the purpose of the meeting is to discuss New Yorkers' priorities. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
And speaking of meetings, 2 American adversaries got together today.
The Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian's in Moscow today. He's signing what's called a strategic cooperation agreement with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Iranian officials say the pact will govern relations between the two countries for the next 20 years. Included are promises to cooperate in technology, cybersecurity and nuclear energy. But Iran says it's not a mutual defense pact. An envoy telling Russia's state news agency TASS that his country's independence and self-reliance are too important for that. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Firefighters in the Los Angeles area are making more progress containing the 2 devastating wildfires now blamed for 27 deaths, leaving many in the LA area homeless, burning down more than 12,000 houses and buildings. On Wall Street, stocks could rebound from yesterday's selling. Dow futures are now rising more than 100 points before the opening bell next hour. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. It's 8:05, 22 degrees with chance of flurries in the next hour. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone. The coldest air in years will arrive Sunday in central New York with overnight temperatures hitting well below zero by early next week. The National Weather Service has issued a hazardous weather outlook for multiple counties, including Herkimer, Oneida, Madison, Shenango, Otsego, and Onondaga. Bitter cold will cause temperatures to sink roughly 20 degrees below average, with wind chills up to minus 15 degrees. Sunday night in the Utica area will be around 6 degrees, and Tuesday night will be around minus 6. Residents are urged to prepare for this bitter cold, which is forecasted to remain in the area until Wednesday. A Utica man was arrested for burglarizing a home and stealing from a victim. Utica police say they were called to a residence on December 20th, where a victim stated he allowed a person they were acquainted with to borrow an item, and then found the suspect stealing items out of their garage. The suspect fled when confronted. Police issued a be on the lookout for the suspect and located 47-year-old Robert Spano on January 15th. He was arrested and charged with second-degree burglary, which is a Class C felony, and petty larceny. He was taken to the Utica Police Department for processing. Former 22nd District Congressman Brandon Williams may be heading back to the nation's capital thanks to President-elect Donald Trump. Trump has nominated his fellow Republican to be the next Undersecretary for Nuclear Security and Administrator of the National Nuclear Security Administration and the U.S. Department of Energy. Williams ran for re-election in November but lost to Congressman John Mannion. Williams previously served as a nuclear submarine officer in the U.S. Navy. And New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is weighing in as TikTok faces a nationwide ban if the Chinese-owned platform is not sold by Sunday. Gillibrand says the U.S. doesn't want to ban TikTok. It just wants to mandate domestic ownership so officials can better protect the nation's infrastructure and security. She says TikTok is critical infrastructure because of how many people use it as a source of getting news and information. Gillibrand says she's not worried TikTok is going to shut off in America because billionaires are interested in buying it. Gillibrand did vote for the ban, and a rep from her office told Under the Desk News that she did so out of support for her fellow Democrat Elizabeth Warren, who co-sponsored the legislation. 22 degrees in Utica, your Weather Center forecast. Up next.
Cloudy and cold out there today with scattered snow showers here this morning. High temperatures in the low part of the 30s. Cloudy overnight tonight, mid-20s. Afternoon rain or snow showers possible Saturday. It'll be breezy. Highs upper 30s to near 40. Colder Sunday, mostly cloudy, low 20s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, it is... Oh, boy, I lost it. I do not know.
22.
I do not know. It is 22 degrees. Thank you, Megan. With a few flurries out there here in cloudy skies at WIBX.
In sports, the divisional round of the NFL postseason is set to kick off this weekend. The action begins Saturday with two-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs playing host Houston Texans. The game is followed by the Washington Commanders paying a visit to the NFC's top-seeded Detroit Lions. On Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles welcome the Los Angeles Rams, and the divisional round will be capped off with the Buffalo Bills hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Should be a good game. Football fans didn't feel Super Wildcard Weekend was a must-watch television because that's according to the NFL and Nielsen. The 6 wildcard round games averaged 28.3 million viewers on television. The games averaged 31.2 million last season. That marks a nearly 9.5% decline in viewership this year. Despite finishing last in the division in 2024, the Giants coaching staff is getting a chance to shine. Offensive coordinator Mike Kafka and defensive coordinator Shane Bowen are the head coaches for a pair of upcoming college prospect showcases. Kafka is coaching the national team at the Senior Bowl, and Bowen is the head coach at the West in the East-West Shrine national team at the Senior Bowl, and Bowen is the head coach of the West. Aaron Rodgers is waiting to learn what the future holds for him. In his first appearance on the Pat McAfee show since the regular season ended, Rodgers hinted that his future relies on the decision coming from whoever the Jets hire as their next head coach and general manager. New York went 5-12 and has the 7th overall pick in the 2025 season. And Syracuse is hoping to bounce back from its recent loss. The 8-9 Orange host Notre Dame tomorrow afternoon. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Davey has a little something on Colgate and Hamilton. So starting with Colgate, they're off to a really good start, right?
So Colgate is 7-11 overall. They're 4-1 in the Patriot League.
Okay. So they got to win, obviously, to be into the tournament. They won the Patriot League. They get an automatic berth. Now, staying with Matt Langle, head coach Matt Langle, we bring in a little talk about Hamilton College.
So his daughter is a junior on the Hamilton Knights the girls basketball team.
Women's.
And she's averaging 18 to 20 points per game, Bill.
In fact, may end up has some opportunities to maybe move into a Division I school.
Yeah.
And then one more thing on Colgate today.
At 10:15 today, I'll be making a trip after the show. I will be going to meet the new football coach they're introducing from Cortland State.
Oh, Cortland is in.
No, he's the former coach at Cortland State. Hang on a second.
Colgate is
he's taking over for Colgate.
Coach. Okay. And prior to this, he was at Cortland.
And prior to that, he was at Morrisville.
At Morrisville.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to ask Manaski a few questions about FedEx. Are you? It's not. So this is nothing crazy. It's not like you're going to get in trouble for answering.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If you have tough questions you want to ask, go ahead. If they fire me and I don't have to work in these teens next week, I'll be fine with it.
I think 2 days next week, it'll be struggle to get out of the single digits.
Yes. So ask the toughest questions you have.
Tin box vehicle you're going to be driving around in, it's going to be chilly. Okay. Your vehicle is loaded.
Yeah, usually.
How do you?
Yesterday was actually not bad, but
how do you load it?
No. They have loaders who come in
And
overnight.
you worked for UPS at one point, and
As
UPS,
a loader.
They have loaders as well.
Yeah.
I used to work at FedEx for years ago, and before I was working.
You did?
Yeah, I was loading up the trucks. That
You were
just-
one of the loaders?
Yes.
Okay. My question would be, I'm assuming they load them it's very calculated.
Yeah.
So
in theory, I
they
get
know
frustrated sometimes.
They know your route, because you don't want to be driving here and be like, oh, I forgot this. I got to go back to that neighborhood.
Yeah. So
how do you organize all of that so that somebody's not getting the wrong package?
Okay, so there is first of all, there's a tablet that basically lays out what my route is that day, and it's got
okay.
the stops on it. Now, on the tablet, it's color coded, and the colors relate to a number. So, for instance, brown is your 1000s. Okay, I think red is your 2000s, orange is 3000, yellow is 4, green
What
is
do you
5.
mean by thousands?
Every package, in addition to the shipping label from whoever you purchased from,
Yeah.
let's say you bought something from Amazon, it'll have a label on there that says your home address and everything. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at this sticker that's got a 4-digit code, and it'll say, like, let's say it's 1023. Okay, so on my tablet, I know I'm looking for package 1023 because I might have 50 or 75 packages that start with a 1.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
all in the front corner of the truck.
And those are organized to most efficiently move through on your route.
So I know when I'm in this neighborhood, I'm not looking in the back right side of the truck. I'm looking on the front left side of the truck.
And then
so
you
there's
find
a
the
color
package.
coding and numbers.
And for the most
yeah.
part, finding packages is pretty easy. I'm assuming Christmas is more difficult than
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part, it is easy. Sometimes, there are mistakes that happen.
Yeah.
For instance, yesterday I had to stop at a car place, and they were supposed to get 2 packages. I spent about 10 minutes looking around for the second package, which ultimately wasn't actually on my truck.
I think
it got loaded to a different truck.
Amazon has a situation with the garage door. Do you use any of that? Where when a delivery comes, you can open the garage door and put the package inside the garage. Do you run into those at all?
So when I scan the package, there's a customer can request something. So it'll typically be like, please leave package at the front door, or leave it at the back door, or please leave in the garage. So what I'll do is when I walk up to the garage, usually there's a door there, not a door you would walk into, not
the garage door,
not the overhead door that a car would go through. So I'll usually check to see if that's open. If it is, I'll just slide the package in there. I take my photo. And I go, what's the issue with Amazon?
A lot of people have refrigerators in their garage. Ever go in and get a pop or something?
No. Some very kind people, though, will
leave you stuff.
Yeah, they'll leave like a cooler on the deck, and it'll say, dear package delivery drivers, please help
Take
yourself.
one. Yeah.
And there'll be like bottles of water. Sometimes there's maybe some juice in there. Those little bags of chips or little half candy bars.
Especially in
like
the summer when it's really hot.
Yes.
Yeah,
You'll see that a lot right before Christmas, and then in the summer when it gets very hot.
Those are my questions. I was wondering,
That's it?
how do you organize all of that? That's and then it's probably really cold when it's cold.
Yeah, it's really cold when
and
it's
really
cold.
hot when it's really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have heat. Those trucks don't have air conditioning. It's not bad when it's hot, to be honest with you, because, you wear shorts and you have the door open, so there is kind of a
And
breeze.
do they let you smoke when you're in your vehicle?
I hope so, because I do.
Okay, all right. Just checking. All right. And are you looking forward to next week when single-digit temperature?
Not. No, I was hoping you'd get me fired in that segment.
Okay. Well, maybe I did. Got a break. We'll talk. Scott has some picks coming up. Brian Miller, Assemblyman, coming up in a second. Senator Joe Griffo also. And I've got some phone calls. We'll get to all of that stuff coming up here next to WIBX.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
If you've ordered a Tempur-Pedic mattress somewhere other than Mattress Express and have waited 7 days or longer for delivery, stop waiting, cancel it, bring the receipt to Mattress Express. We'll give you a sale price or a $200 prepaid Visa card and get it delivered fast.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Feeling the winter blues? Warm up with us at Fit Body Boot Camp. Hey, it's Lisa, and I'm here to tell you that 2025 is the year to step into the best version of you. But what does that mean? That means feeling stronger, having more energy, and building more confidence. My incredible team and I will be with you every step of the way. And guess what? You can come in for free. That's right, 3 free on me with no commitment. Come see us and let's make this your best year yet at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
Hey, Central New York, I'm Gordon Deal, and whether you're listening to WIBX from Utica to Conesville, you want to know what's going on in our country. The news is moving so fast these days, it can feel like it's hard to catch up, and that, my friend, is what my show is all about. Every Sunday at 7 a.m., listen to This Weekend with me, Gordon Deal, a show that goes beyond the headlines and brings you a lively blend of intelligent information, trending topics, and humor with stories from the U.S. and around the world. Catch This Weekend with Gordon Deal, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, everybody in upstate New York. I don't know where in upstate New York, but thanks for listening to the Keeler Show. Never met this man. Don't know why I'm telling everybody to listen, but thank you very much. By the way, this is Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I have nothing else really to say to you, but I thank you for listening to me, tell you to listen to this man, Bill Keeler, on WIBX.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
And I do have to say, portions of the program today brought to you by the Steep Pawnee Mazda dealership. Steep Pawnee Mazda. New Year, new Mazda sales event is back. They've increased their inventory with over 150 new Mazdas available. You can save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s, 5s, 50s, 70s, and CX-90s. Manansky, you remember the time that I told you that when the vehicle goes into speed mode or sport mode, you literally you go from 0 to 60 in just seconds. And I think you remember your head cocks back just a little bit.
Yeah, you go up and then back. And it was an experience, man. That thing moves.
It does move, doesn't it? I love it. See the dealership for details about all of this. Let's make your deal, as Rick says, on a new Mazda from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steep Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. On the line right now, last hour we had Governor Newsom. This hour, I'm proud to tell you, it doesn't stop there. On the line right now, Ron DeSantis. Good morning. Good morning, Governor.
Well, hello, Bill.
Oh, you
Hey,
got
buddy.
us. You got us. Good morning, Stefan. Good morning. I want to start by asking you, how is your niece? For those who don't know, Stefan's niece out in Oklahoma. Where was that?
Rockford, Illinois.
Illinois. She was hit by a car.
Oh, no.
While boarding she wasn't hit by the bus. She was getting on the bus. She was hit by a car. Is that correct? Or she wasn't hit by the bus, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And that's why we had Machel on earlier in the week talking about extreme importance of bus safety. And when you see that flashing light, you gotta slow down and stop.
Imagine this. You're at your daughter's soccer game. She makes a shot and suddenly goes down in a lot of pain. It's her ankle. As a parent, you know the faster she gets to the right people, the sooner she'll be on her way to recovery. And treating this pain is an emergency. The orthopedic care she needs is just minutes away at Community Memorial. If it's real pain, head to our new emergency room in Hamilton. We have the shortest wait times in the area. We can get pain under control and then quickly get you into one of our world-class specialists at Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics. Whether it's a new injury or long-term joint pain, we also have orthopedic clinics on weekdays in Hamilton, Wednesdays in New Hartford, and Thursdays in Cazenovia, with walk-ins welcome. Imagine a healthcare system that's dedicated to getting you to some of the best orthopedic specialists in the area in the shortest time possible. That's Community Memorial Center for Orthopedics. Visit orthoemergency.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
My Lord Almighty. Well, this is the problem we've been having all week. It's a technical problem. I do not know how to correct it. In fact, it's triggering brakes without us even touching anything. Must be, I don't know, static electricity. It's nice to have modern equipment. I love modern equipment. I really do. I do. Sometimes I think about it at night when I'm sleeping. And then it turns into a nightmare. God almighty. Okay, Stefan, I'm asking you how your niece is doing. She was struck by a car while getting on a school bus. And the bus was flashing its lights, and the person ran right through and hit her. Luckily, it was not hit and run. They had the decency to stop. But she was in a coma in intensive care. How is she doing now?
Well, she's doing a little bit better. She has her good days and bad days, but hopefully more good days to come.
All right.
Just to be clear, this was somebody who was illegally passing a school bus and hit your niece. How old is your niece?
She was born in 2012.
Oh, my goodness.
Child.
And she's been hospitalized for how long?
It's been about a week.
Since last Friday.
Oh,
it's been a week.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I'd love to be locked in my FedEx truck for 10 minutes with whatever scumbag did that.
Yeah, it's awful. And that's, it's about paying attention. It's about, sometimes people are too busy to stop, or they see the flashing lights, they hit their gas to try to beat the bus.
Like it's a yellow light
so they
at
don't
an
have to
intersection?
stop. And, it's exactly right. That's how they do it. By the way, how's your FedEx vehicle in the snow?
They're not very good. I go very slow.
Yeah,
they're not very good at all.
I go very slow too, always.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Okay.
I've driven with you before. Did you forget that?
You have. That is true. Stefan, anything else? Do you have anything else, or is that it, Mr. DeSantis?
Well, here's the pitch by Richie Vaughn. Just a bit outside. Ball 4.
All right.
Ball
very good.
8.
Ball 12.
You sound like
Richie Vaughn has walked the bases loaded. That was the famous Bob Uecker in the movie Major League.
You sound just like him.
Just a bit outside.
Just like him. All right, good stuff there. Thank you. You have a
Thank you,
good day,
Bill.
and we'll be thinking about your niece.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
Thanks so much.
That's awful.
It is awful, isn't it? Yeah. Did you see Jim Nance? Speaking of, I always think you sound like Jim Nance, and I don't know if you've been watching, but the promos are running for the Masters. That means warm weather is just around the corner. Pitchers and catchers will be reporting.
Well, I got a plug on that.
Before you know it, what do you have?
Well, I'll do it now. So the umpire class is coming up again, and
Yes.
I believe it starts next month.
For those who don't know, Jeff, I apologize if you're new to the show. Jeff has been you had been with IBX for
21 years.
21 years. He left, he came back, and then he left again. And the industry has changed tremendously. The being in radio is a different world today. Trust me. And so now when we need someone, Jeff will fill in every once in a while, and we appreciate that. All right, but you also became an umpire.
Yes.
And that's really cool as well, as you umpire high school games and all of that.
A great second job. The classes are coming up. It's 4 weeks. You go twice a week. It's held at Notre Dame unless they change the location this year. But we just launched a website, and actually the guys did a really good job with this. This is our, I don't know, is it our beta? It's basically our first version.
Okay, so
we're looking to enhance it, but we wanted to put
yeah.
something up. And I think it actually looks really good for what it is right now.
Nice.
MVBUA.com. Think of Mohawk Valley Baseball Umpires Association, MVBUA.com. And there's information there. There's a contact number. We will be posting the dates for the classes. A couple of thoughts here real quick. First of all, if you're a baseball fan, obviously we want you. You don't have to be a baseball fan, but if you've ever wanted to do this, at least come to the classes and find out what it's all about. It's a really good group of guys. Very helpful. Our instructors are outstanding. I actually really like them. I think they do a great job. As a guy who played baseball, growing up for the first 18 years of my life, you learn stuff that you never really knew about the game or explanations of rules that you thought you knew.
Probably learn a new appreciation for umpires.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah. There's absolutely no question about it.
And a new appreciation for parents. Well, maybe not.
Appreciation's maybe not the right word.
Okay.
But no, I say that in jest. And look, sometimes when we get yelled at, we deserved it. I'll tell you that. There's been times I've been scolded on the field that I stink, and maybe on that day I did stink. Sometimes you miss a call. Think about that when you watch a game and they look at 8 different angles. And they still go, I don't know, he kind of got his hand in there.
Still can't get it right.
Yeah, I don't get the benefit. You don't get the benefit of 8 angles in a slow motion. You have to make a call. So whenever
there
it
are
happens,
parents with a cell phone videotaping who are watching it back and saying, look, I can see it right here.
Oh, yeah.
You blew the call.
Those are my favorite parents.
Yeah.
MVBUA.com. Check it out. Another opportunity. Also, if you have somebody who is younger, and I keep saying this, and I really think there's an opportunity there to recruit young men and women who have played the game of whether it's baseball or softball, who are just coming off their playing days. So, for instance, if you played Legion ball or high school ball, and maybe you need a summer job,
this would be a good one.
I think this is a great summer job because they're still familiar with the game. You forget stuff over time.
Could a woman?
We have women.
Could a woman become an umpire for a baseball game?
Yes, we have at least one, maybe 2.
Would you accept a woman who used to be a man?
Yes, we would.
You would that. So this is good for everybody.
It's good for everybody.
All
yeah.
right. No special advantage for any of them as
I don't
umpires.
Think so.
I don't think.
I don't think so. And I just want to note, since you brought that up, because we do have one, and I think she did a very good job. Last year was her first year. I never worked with her, but you hear stuff. I think she did well. And there is also, in addition to we're looking for umpires, I think the softball folks are looking for. So it's 2 different classes, 2 different organizations.
I would know the first thing about umping a girls' softball game. Could not even figure it out.
Honestly, neither would I.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Mohawk Valley Baseball Umpires Association. Get in the game. Call them today at 315-527-5337. Call Rick and get in the game.
Rick's a great guy.
All right, on the line. He's been waiting, and thank you for doing that, Scott, because I know how annoying it is listening to us. Scott in Kirkville, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Sounds like you got the original Motley crew back, huh? You got producer Dave in the studio, too. You got Jeff. You're all set to go. By the way, Jeff, good news. Good news for you, pal. Several years ago when you were on the air, you were talking about on your golf game, you had shot at the back 9 holes, 37. You shot at 37, but unfortunately, they wasn't recognized because the windmill in the 10th hole wasn't working. And they didn't recognize it. But now they reversed their decision that the windmill was working on the 10th hole, so your 37's been recognized.
All right. Very nice.
I still, to this day, in addition, not only from Scott, but have other people approach me and do not think that's a real story. And I can tell you that's 100% true story. 100% true story.
I tell you the true story. A groundhog saw a shadow, and thank God there's only 7 more weeks of Syracuse basketball left.
Oh, my God. Can I tell you something? That is the funniest joke you've ever told.
I was just going to say that.
I'm always criticizing your jokes, and I'm like, you're just not. The jokes aren't funny. That was funny.
Was that good? Okay. All right.
That was good.
The only way they're going to make it, basically, is going to win the ACC title. But it's bad. You know, it's just the trouble is with this INL stuff and this transfer portal. Every year is going to be different.
Yeah.
You know, we can talk about. You know, we're building a program. How do you build a program? You're going to have 8 new faces next year.
Yeah. Well,
every year's going to be that way.
I know. And now the question is, how? Actually, Syracuse.com has a story today about this, asking the question: at what point do you start analyzing the longevity of this coach, his longevity? They're asking that question today.
He's not going to break. To develop, you know, Tom Izzo might be the last to develop players. By the way, Michigan State plays Illinois on Sunday at 12. But if you love three-point shooting, guys, 12 o'clock tomorrow, Alabama and Kentucky. If they don't shoot between 75 and 100 threes combined, I'd be totally surprised. That game's going to be both in the 90s. But it's a whole different ball game. Nobody can develop players because no one's around long enough to develop players anymore.
It's really terrible.
It is.
It's so hard to watch this. It's in fact, they're playing Notre Dame this weekend. It's just going to be rough.
Notre Dame this weekend, and to be honest, I hate to see what the point spread's going to be. Notre Dame should be a favorite.
Are the edge of I think they might be. I'll look that up for you while you're talking, but I do want to know your NFL action for the weekend. This is an exciting weekend. Division championship. Here we go. What do you think?
Yeah, with Scott, we always prefer good picks as opposed to funny jokes. You can
Yes.
tell bad jokes, but as long as the picks are
And
good.
Scott, the rule is once you've made them laugh, stop. Don't keep swinging. I mean, you want to end on a high note, and
I know.
that was funny.
I'm the Gary Sanchez. I'm the Gary Sanchez of comedians. I just keep swinging for the fences, even though I get 2 home runs.
Okay. All right. Well, there you're starting to go. Be careful.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Picks
Here
for
we go.
picks for the weekend.
Now for Lance and Lee, you're right. I gave you 3 picks last week. I went 1 and 2, so it took 19 weeks for that to happen. Which for somebody that wagers, that's not bad if you go 18 and 1.
Can I stop you right there for 1
pick.
second? You're very bothered that Lance and Lee criticized you.
No, I'm just saying that you can't cherry pick. You picked 2 games I lost. You forgot to mention the 4 games I gave that week that won. And by the way, the Syracuse, if you're able to get the Syracuse-Washington State bowl game, I said that was the lock of the century. That was the Bill Raftery sent it in. I mean, it's okay. But the bottom line is, let's be honest on both sides. I'm honest right here, and you guys got the audio. I mean, 19 weeks is kind of tough to constantly give out winners, I think.
All right, well, Scott, you got to understand, though, if Lance and Lee is criticizing you, then you are on the radar. And
That's a good thing.
rather
That is a
receive
good
criticism than not
And by the way,
exist.
I'm looking up at the app that I have here, and they have pulled all college basketball right now. There's nothing available right now, so it'll come in later in the day. They'll post everything, but right now I don't have a line on Syracuse.
It's tough. They usually don't have a line the day of the game because there isn't much action. It's not like football where you got the whole week to bet.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, before we get to the pros, the championship game Monday night between Ohio State and Notre Dame ends the college. I already put a wager in. I got over Ohio State team total now, 26.5. I was amazed. Ohio State had to beat Tennessee, Texas, and Oregon to get to the finals. Notre Dame had to beat Indiana, a Georgia team that with a backup quarterback and a Penn State quarterback that had troubles throwing the ball. So I was surprised the line's only 8, but maybe that's because the Notre Dame alumni might keep this line down.
You think Notre Dame's going to get blown out?
I think Ohio State's going to score at least 27 points against them. I think that's very. I mean, they've scored that against everybody else. Why can't they score it against Notre Dame?
All right, so you need to look for a line that is a team total, not the game over under.
You can go to the. I try to give out lines. You can go locally and get it. I know it's on the app and stuff.
Okay.
You can go somewhere else. So anyway, Kansas City best offense was against Texas this year. If you look, they played I think week 15 or 16. They won by 8. They actually were trailing. I think when I saw that, the team total was 23. I think Kansas City can score 24 against Texas. I think Texas, the Super Bowl was last week. They were so excited to win a playoff game that, they acted like they won the championship. And, of course, Kansas City. Also, if you want to do a pizza prop bet, take an eye on Kelsey's props when it comes out. I think they're going to use him a lot in this game. They really have kind of kept him quiet.
By the way, Kansas City is a 9-point favorite in that game.
9-point favorite, and the team, like I said, the over-under is 41.
Who are you picking in that game?
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'm picking the same thing, the team total over 20.
I know that, but we're doing another pick'em contest
you
here on
guys
the
are
side.
doing something else.
Yeah.
All right. Davy's up by 9 games.
He's stop. I don't want to. His head is exploding. It's terrible.
I know.
All right.
Well, hey, listen.
He's
Producer
done
Dave,
well.
I tell you.
Commanders Lions is the late game, 5 p.m. game on. I'm sorry, the 8 o'clock game. I'm looking at a West Coast app. 8 o'clock game on Saturday.
Yeah, 9 points. I think it was 9.
10 o'clock. 10 points. Commanders are 10-point underdogs.
Okay, it's up to 10. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Over under, I think 55 or 55 and a half.
55 and a half.
Yep. So Detroit is one of those teams that are 13-4, 13-4, I believe, against the team total. They won 13 times. It's a high over under. That's the only problem. I'm still, it's like anything else. You win 13 out of 17. That to me is a winner. I think their team total is going to be about 31, 32. And I really think that with 2 weeks off, they can score against Washington. Prop bet, keep an eye on Gibbs for Detroit. Should get a lot of handoffs. Montgomery's back.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to get handoff to him. So if you do a prop bet, keep an eye on Gibbs.
All right.
It's a tight end.
And Vegas is calling for 2 blowouts tomorrow. It'll be very interesting to see if that actually happens. Calling for 2 close games on Sunday. I got to move quickly through this, Scott, because I've got 2 guests backed up. But L.A., Philadelphia is the first game on Sunday.
I think the line's, 6.5?
It is
6. I see 6.
I see 6.
Okay, you see 6 now?
Yep.
All right. I think basically the Rams can keep it close. I think we're going to do the 6. I don't really have a big opinion about that game because I don't know about Hurts. He gets one hit with a concussion, Pickett goes out the window. So not really a strong opinion with that game, one way or the other.
Eagles are favored, of course, by 6. The over-under is 44. Okay, then we come to the Bills are 1-point underdogs against the Ravens. What do we think here? It's the 6:30 game on Sunday.
And the over-under is what, 50, 51?
51 and a half.
Yeah. Basically, once again, I think both teams are going to score. The Bills have gone over their team total 11 out of the last 12 weeks. I assume since they're a point underdog, that's going to be about 25. If they can't score 27, they're probably not winning the game anyway. So I'm going to go over team total with the Bills. We'll go from there. But like I said, you get down here now. The best games are actually on Sunday. If you look at what it is, but Kansas City's it's fickle. They haven't played well the whole year. They've just gone through the motions.
I feel like they're due to get beat. I just feel that they just haven't played well, but I don't think it's going to be against Houston. That's the only thing. And then the Bills-Ravens game, I got to tell you, I worry about Josh Allen in the extreme cold. However, I think Allen plays well despite that, and I think the defense is the hero of the game. Bills win by 2 touchdowns.
Wow. Well,
this is not going to be the first game, I'm telling you. This is not the same Buffalo team that played weeks ago. Let's see what happens.
But I hope you're right, because I'm
Me
not
too.
a Ravens fan, and I hope you're right. It'd be great, Kansas City and.
Who are you making your picks, Davey? Quickly,
real quick. I'm taking the Lions, the Eagles, and the Bills.
All right, that's what Scott told you to do. Good. All right. Okay, Scott. Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, you have a wonderful weekend. Make a lot of money.
Okay, guys. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks so much. All right, I got a break quickly. We're going to bring in Brian Miller. Let's do that. And maybe he can sit where you are and you sit up there down a little bit. And then we're going to bring in Senator Joe Griffo as well and talk about the governor's state of the state coming right up here.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together. And when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's hear this tiger purr, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
It's a winter wonderland of deals at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. Drive in to unbeatable offers on vehicles built to handle snow and ice. Own the 2025 Trax RS with the Driver's Confidence Package for just $319 a month. Or tackle winter with the 2024 Silverado Crew Cab LT 4-wheel drive. Lease for just $425 a month. Hurry, these deals won't last. Offers end January 31st. Customers must qualify with top-tier credit through GM Financial. Lease terms are 3 years, 10,000 miles per year. Mileage penalty of 25 cents per mile over 30,000 miles. Lessee must have a current Chevy lease in the household. Customer must qualify and sign up for the new GM card. All taxes, fees, $2,000 down, and first payment due at delivery. Track stock number 25183. Silverado stock number 24621. See salesperson for details. Find your perfect winter ride today at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, where it's always easy to do business. Together, let's drive.
Hi, I'm Pete from Big Apple Music, and whether it's your home or business, you have a lot invested. In the past, a camera surveillance system was an expensive luxury. Big Apple has now made it affordable. Big Apple is the area's leader when it comes to camera surveillance systems, having installed hundreds locally in homes and businesses. Big Apple is New York State licensed for security and camera surveillance, with most of our products sourced from American companies. Featuring Starlight Night Vision, our cameras dollar for dollar have the best night vision available. A camera surveillance system can offer full property coverage. It prevents and reduces crime, monitors high-risk areas like parking lots and showrooms, and Big Apple has a fully set-up showroom to give you real-time, realistic demonstrations of just how great a camera system can be for you. Stop in and see for yourself at Big Apple Music in New Hartford.
There's a lot of talk about EV government rebates going away this year.
But at this moment, there are still crazy government incentives on EVs, like the 2024 Kia EV6 Lite all-wheel drive.
With government incentives, lease this $51,000 vehicle for just $428 per month for 36 months.
And that's with zero down, zero due at inception, even sales tax included.
Folks, these are your tax dollars. Take advantage of the government money while it lasts.
And this is the long-range EV6 model rated for 282 miles of range.
Only during the New Year, New Ride sales event. Make that short drive to save.
So go kooky for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
VIN number R5218144. MSRP $51,400. 36 months, 30,000 mile lease. 20 cents per mile over. $0 due to inception. $0 security deposit. 8.75% sales tax and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure. $400 disposition fee. 720 plus FICO score. Includes New York State Drive Clean rebate. EPA rating. Offer expires 2/3/2025.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, portions of the program brought to you by the Falcon Clinic at Washington Mills, accepting new patients right now. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, call them today. Whether you need a new family doctor or you're dealing with an issue that you want a second opinion, or maybe your doctor can't get to the bottom of something. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, incredibly thorough. I love both of them. They're tremendous, and I highly recommend them if you're having an issue. God knows I've seen enough issues over the course of the last 5 years. 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Also by New York Sash. They've extended their buy two, get one free sale. It's extended into next week. Buy 2 New York Sash windows, get 1 free. Buy 10, get 5 free. Buy 20, get 10 free. You have 30 windows right there, and 10 of them would be free. They're the best windows. They will help you lower your energy bill, and they just look great. You gave us a really great compliment when you saw the windows in our home for the first time. I didn't even tell you about it, and you said...
They look amazing.
Yeah, and changed the whole look of the house.
It really did. It really did change the whole look of the house, and I'll quickly mention as well, this time of year especially, and you'll feel it next week, whatever windows, as long as they're not New York Sash windows, that you have in your home right now, go stand next to them or in front of them at this time of year, and you'll feel
cold.
Yes.
And I'll tell you,
go do it in front of a New York Sash window, and you won't feel
sometimes
cold.
I whip my shirt right off, put my back right up against the window.
I was going to throw that line in there,
Megan,
but I didn't want to go back.
Warm. Yeah, warm.
As Bill likes to say, he used to go bareback against the windows.
How's that for a mental image on a Friday morning, everybody? Shirtless Bill with his back pressed against a window.
Imagine the car going by. I mean, just think about it. It was something. Okay, and I do want to say that one more thing, and then I'm going to get to the governor. Mark Butler and Rocky Fiato did a tremendous job. They held a huge event down at Waterfront Grill. Every conference championship. That'll be not this Sunday, but next Sunday at noon, a full buffet, the whole 9 yards, and every year they produce an amazing commercial. I'd like to play it for you just here.
Here it is.
And listen to their artwork. The Thespian, Mark Butler, and Rocky Fiato.
Well, Mr. Fiato, or may I call you Rocky, welcome to the clinic. I've been looking at your chart, and some things have jumped right out at me. First, you're 5'3" and weigh how much?
Wait a minute, Doc. That's 5'6". I've been working out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, step over here and look at these x-rays with me. It's very clear that your thingamajig is enlarged and inflamed again. But forget the fancy medical terms. It's apparent that you have a case of acute chronic generosity. I'm afraid, Mr. Fiato, Rocky, there's only one known cure.
Sounds pretty serious. Will it hurt?
Well, maybe a little. But I prescribe that you have a football tailgate party at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer on January 26th from 1 to 5, with all proceeds going to benefit local charities. Those charities include Feed Our Vets, the Herkimer County Humane Society, and the Herkimer County Hunger Coalition.
I guess that doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, but I'm not done. Also, for a $30 ticket, you will include your famous buffet, televised championship football games, raffles, music, and prizes.
That does hurt, but if that's what I've got to do, that's what I'll do. What do I owe you, Doc, for today?
Hey, this one's on the house. Obviously, this generosity thing can be highly contagious, so be very careful. And may I suggest that you lay off the pasta?
Okay. Well, there you go.
Good job, guys.
I must say, it's not this Sunday. It's next Sunday.
Yes.
Check it out. And I think I did a nice job editing. That was actually 45 minutes. And I was able
with
to...
Mark Butler talking.
I was able to cut it down. On the line
No,
right
they
now,
did well. That's
Senator Joe Griffo. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
And also in studio is Assemblyman Brian Miller. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
And Mello says hello.
Hello, Mello.
All right, I'll start with you, Senator Griffo. Your thoughts on Kathy Hochul's State of the State?
Well, I'm glad I'm not in the studio after hearing some of the things that you guys were talking about this morning, including you pressed against a window.
That's a sight to be seen. Or not.
But speaking of the ad that you had, buy two get one free. That's what the state was similar to the other day. Governors seem to really be focused on spending a lot of money and a lot of giveaways. But the problem with that is they come with an expense associated with that, and that expense will be the burden of the taxpayers. So I'm concerned. We'll look at all the initiatives. We'll examine that. The budget will be submitted and presented next week, so we'll see further details. But I think that's some of the concern that I have right now is that we have a similar concern, I think, in this state, and I give the governor credit for that she finally has heard our voices, the voice of the people, recognizing we have an affordability problem, we have a public safety problem. The problem is the approach, and I just don't agree with the approach that she has recommended thus far. For instance, I don't think we need one-time relief. We need all-time relief. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to present a $300 rebate check, which is coming because of excess sales tax that we received in the state of New York, why don't we look at maybe reducing that tax as opposed to just giving a one-time check? So that's the difference in the approach, but I am appreciative that she now recognizes that New York has a problem. That's why almost a million people have left over the last 4 years.
Assemblyman Miller, your thoughts?
Well, I feel the same way that Joe does. We listened to the speech the other day. It was one of her longest speeches. There was some entertainment to start with, so it was
what was the entertainment?
Would they have the Bidens there?
Well, they had some singing and dancing and the whole
they
night
did
for the first 45 minutes, which it was a big waste of time. But we're very glad that she's finally addressed the affordability, public safety, things like that. She's probably she's taken a good look at the poll numbers over the last election, and it's finally hitting home with her. But I don't know how we're going to afford to implement her middle class tax cut she's looking at, and other things. And one thing I was really concerned about, there was talk about the transportation downstate, and I really wish there was more parity and talk about our upstate transportation needs along with that.
Right.
Well, but how she solved the problem though seems to be with that. What is it? The congestion? Is that what you're talking about? They got the new toll.
Tax,
we don't want any new tolls, right?
Yeah. Well, it's congestion tax for the MTA, and there was a press conference before the governor's speech. Mike Lawler put it on, and he said something very interesting. The MTA is probably one of the most poorly run agencies we have. And they're always asking for money. If they had the entire $238 million, they'd take that, and then next year they'd be asking for more. But one of the things she did say, and then she wanted to improve the commute time via rail from Poughkeepsie down to the city by 15 minutes. Is that really necessary? We got roads up here in upstate New York that are falling.
I do like the listen. I use the train, and there's sometimes that train from New York to Rensselaer is doing about 115 miles an hour. So, but that's not high speed. That's not even close. So, and I'm not sure how with our climate we'd be able to do high speed. But you're right. There are roads. The thruway itself is in rough shape. Senator Griffo, any talk about how she's going to use the Rockefeller Institute's report on financial aid and the foundation aid for school districts?
No, I'm not sure what she's going to propose. We'll see that on Tuesday. I mean, this really was a metropolitan-centric speech, as the Assemblyman said. We do need to see parity and resources and upstate as well as downstate, and I do recognize and appreciate that New York City faces challenges that need to be addressed. But even on a middle-class tax cut, that is something that we advocated several years ago and initiated under the prior governor, and when you had divided government. But now hearing the Speaker talk about that he wants to go further and just make a cut to the lower income segment, I think that the approach, again, is wrong. We need to give everybody relief in this state. We need to find a way to revise the tax code, to lower the tax burden. So on the education formula, I was with the Commissioner of Education last Monday, and the day before the state of the state, and she has expressed concerns. They're looking for over $20 billion that they're going to need. And so how the Rockefeller recommendations with the foundation aid that's in the budget presently will all be reflected based on the needs that have been expressed and the concern that we have to make sure school districts are not damaged as a result of the way we fund, particularly our rural schools and the suburban schools up here. It's going to be interesting to see what they propose and how they propose it. But that's why I just think it's really a matter of priorities.
Yeah.
We need to control that spending, but we need to redirect that in these areas like education, higher education. When she talks about making community colleges tuition free, I mean there are many other issues associated with community colleges right now that are never addressed, like their base aid, things of that nature. So we need to look at these things holistically, not just what may sound good politically or look good politically. And that's my concern now. It's not what we heard; it's what we're going to see.
Yeah. And let's not forget this last year was the year of colleges closing up shop. I mean, we haven't seen that in decades. Okay, next week the budget. Is it next week the budget comes out?
Yes.
Tuesday.
Okay. On Tuesday, and we'll see what it all looks like after that. Hopefully we can get both of you guys back on next week to talk about this.
Sounds good.
And Joe, I think we'll have you next Thursday out of the Capitol Theater as well for maybe both of you out there for the Capitol is having an event for the Oscar nominations. All right.
We'll do a Joe time there, hopefully.
We'll do a Joe time. Sounds good, gentlemen. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe out there.
Care.
Okay,
right,
thanks.
Thanks so much.
Feeling the winter blues? Warm up with us at Fit Body Boot Camp. Hey, it's Lisa, and I'm here to tell you that 2025 is the year to step into the best version of you. But what does that mean? That means feeling stronger, having more energy, and building more confidence. My incredible team and I will be with you every step of the way. And guess what? You can come in for free. That's right, 3 free on me, with no commitment. Come see us, and let's make this your best year yet at Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and Clinton.
When disaster strikes, the food supply is the first domino to fall. It can start quietly, an emergency alert, a breaking news headline. But within hours, reality sets in. People rush to grocery stores, emptying shelves of everything from bread to canned goods. Lines stretch out the door, tempers flare, and desperation takes hold. And no matter who's in charge these days, you simply can't rely on the government to bail you out. That's why having an emergency food supply on hand is the right move for you and your family. Right now, you can get $50 off a 4-week emergency food kit at mypatriotsupply.com. They're an American company trusted by millions, offering 2,000 calories per day with essential vitamins and minerals to keep you strong during a crisis. This food will be there for you when you need it, since it lasts up to 25 years and can ship out to you next day. Go to mypatriotsupply.com now to get $50 off your 4-week emergency food kit. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
Even more winter fun in Old Forge? That's right. The new triple chairlift at McCauley Mountain is ready, and the grand opening is 10 a.m. this Friday, January 17th. The new chairlift will whisk skiers and snowboarders 3 at a time to McCauley Summit. Good times continue with night skiing Friday and Saturday, complete with food and beverage service at the grill room. Conditions are great, and McCauley has something for everyone in the family. Groomed cross-country trails, too.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's what the families of hostages still held in Gaza want to hear. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Israel's Security Cabinet has just approved the ceasefire deal Hamas agreed to, and it goes to the full cabinet later, paving the way for the first phase of the deal that include a prisoner swap. Israel will release Palestinians in exchange for 33 hostages Hamas has held since the 2023 attack that triggered the Gaza war.
It's never ideal, obviously, when you're releasing terrorists back into the arms of Hamas.
Republican Congressman Mike Lawler tells Fox Business.
7 Americans are still being held, 4 deceased, 3 presumed living. I have met with every single one of their families on multiple occasions. We want them home.
The Trump nominee to be Homeland Security Secretary is at the Senate now for a confirmation hearing about to start. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem plans to tell senators Americans feel less safe now.
I think she shares the president's concern and really all of our concern, really all of America's concern about, making sure dangerous people aren't coming across the border.
Republican Senator Rand Paul chairs the hearing committee and tells Fox he thinks Noem will get some Democrat support. 3 days before he leaves office, President Biden warns us again, telling MSNBC.
I really am concerned about
how fragile democracy is.
Now, he also made history this morning, commuting the sentences of nearly 2,500 nonviolent drug offenders he says got disproportionately long prison time. All the Biden pardons and commutations now are more than any president ever. And President Biden's planning to stay out of the TikTok drama, not planning to enforce a ban. Fox's Tanya J. Powers reports is looming.
Barring a decision by the Supreme Court, a TikTok ban is set to take effect on Sunday, affecting the 170 million Americans who use the app. A law signed in April mandates a ban on new downloads of it on Apple or Google app stores unless TikTok's Chinese-owned parent company ByteDance divests the site.
TikTok is considered a national security threat. The Supreme Court may rule this morning. America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Good morning. It is 9:03, 25 degrees in Utica with snow expected to start shortly. Crime is decreasing in the city of Utica, and Utica police have the stats to prove it. Authorities released their major crime review report and found that when comparing crime rates in 2023 to those of last year, there have been 16 fewer individuals shot. Last year, police responded to 83 shots fired incidents, made 15 arrests from non-fatality cases, recovered 107 crime guns and 16 ghost guns. In addition, the ShotSpotter program, which launched in September, detected 26 confirmed acts of gun violence in the city. Last year, police investigated 6 homicide victims, one more from 2023, and boasted a 77% solve rate on shooting investigations, including homicides, which is up from 2023's 47%. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is deploying forest rangers to help fight the devastating California wildfires. She says a team of 10 rangers with the Department of Environmental Conservation departed from Albany this morning. They're expected to join firefighters in Los Angeles for 2 weeks as they battle the fires, which have killed at least 25 people, burned more than 40,000 acres, and destroyed more than 12,000 structures. Hochul says New York's expert wildland firefighting forest rangers were eager to answer the call, thanking them for their bravery and wishing them a safe return. United Health Group CEO says problems with the country's healthcare system needs to be addressed. In the first earnings call since the deadly shooting of United Health executive Brian Thompson on a Manhattan sidewalk, CEO Andrew Whitty acknowledged Thursday that there are flaws driving up the costs of healthcare for people across the country. He blamed both the private sector and government for creating a confusing and costly landscape. The company reported record 2024 revenues. And Mount Sinai Health System in New York is offering tips to help people who are struggling to sleep. The organization recommends going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, making the room as dark as possible, and hiding the clock. Mount Sinai says if you can't sleep after 15 minutes, get up and go to another room and doing something relaxing like reading and then returning to bed when feeling drowsy. The hospital also recommends making the room as quiet as possible, keeping it cool, and silencing electronics. Your Weather Center forecast: a chance of flurries today, high 23. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low around 25. Rain and snow on Saturday with a high around 38. A slight chance of snow on Sunday when a high around 24, but that temperature will continue to plummet with the cold front moving in, bringing the overnight low to around 6 degrees. Monday will be very, very cold, and that overnight low on Monday will be -6, so bundle up. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
From high atop Fox News headquarters in New York City. Always seeking solutions, never sowing division. It's Brian Kilmeade.
Hi, everyone. So glad you're here. It's going to be a busy hour. A lot going on. Kristi Noem at this very moment starts her hearings, and it's one after the other. The cabinet secretary nominees. And that's who really is, as expected, dominated this week. But there's other stories, too. Bret Baier is going to join us in a matter of moments, getting set for special reports starting at 6 p.m. tonight. But first, by the way, we have just a couple of days until we get a new president. So we're at Friday. Here we are, have a new president on Monday. And, of course, this show will be Monday and Tuesday from Washington, D.C., right in the middle of the inauguration mania. So let's get to the big three.
Now, with the stories you need to know, it's Brian's Big Three.
Number 3.
This is a platform where many Americans are consuming their news. To take that away from them when it's not necessary, when we can find a solution to this, is just unacceptable.
Well, the only solution would be to sell to an American company. You don't want China picking the news, do you? That is Cory Booker. TikTok, off the respirator. Somehow Republicans and Democrats are rethinking the ban. This is not tough if you don't want China shaping the minds of our next generation of Americans. It should be sold or destroyed.
Number 2.
Yeah, they're given a master class on how to testify before the Senate. Donald Trump has done an exceptional job picking his cabinet. It'd be very difficult for the Democrats to make any case against voting against any of them.
Yep, that is Jason Chaffetz, Trump on deck as his team's auditions for in front of the Committee of Senators in a Curious Nation. Why I believe so far the roster gets through as intact, while battles for Tulsi, Cash, and RFK loom, and more details take shape of Monday's inaugural.
Number 1.
All the parameters have been agreed to. We've ironed out these last bit of details that needed to be flattened out and fixed. We believe we're on a good path here to start implementation by the end of the weekend. So all systems are go right now.
Deal all but done. And as the first hostage released as early as Sunday, maybe Monday, with a slow, steady stream for 42 straight days. Then we'll begin phase 2. And then over 1,000 Palestinian prisoners are released in return, perhaps. We will break it all down as the region awaits the Trump takeover. I should say 100 Palestinian prisoners. We'll see how it goes. It's supposedly, for every female hostage released, you get, I think, 100 Palestinian prisoners, many of which are serving life sentences, which means more than likely they've murdered. 30 for a guy. This is crazy, right? And this is what drives a lot of people nuts, but it looks as though the Knesset has okayed it and looks like it's going to go forward. Bret Baier joins us now. Hey, Bret, your thoughts about this deal? A lot of people have some mixed thoughts. Everybody wants the hostages out, but the Palestinians feel it's a victory.
Yeah, good morning. I think I think they feel like they're getting a lot for this deal, and there are some Israelis and some on Capitol Hill who think the Israelis are giving up too much and forced to do that by the U.S. I do think that there's a tired there's this sense in Israel that they have to get it over with. That it's taking too much of a toll. Obviously, the hostage families have been lobbying for this. But when you look back to 2011, in that prisoner exchange, one of the people released was Sinwar, the head of Hamas, who eventually was killed. But he went on to lead Hamas to build up and do what they did on October 7th.
So we have so far 33 hostages over 42 days. 9 will come out right away. There's supposed to be at least 3 Americans coming out of there. So the prisoners will be exchanged. The Americans are Keith Siegel, Sangai Dekel Chen, and Eden Alexander. So Netanyahu spoke and thanked to Biden as well as Trump. It seems like it was a team effort. And I think John Kirby mentioned that yesterday. Anthony Blinken said this about Steve Witkoff, who represents Trump. Cut 3.
And I both appreciate and applaud the very good work that Steve Witkoff did, working closely with us, with Brett McGurk, in helping to get this over the line. But I think being very clear with all concern that the incoming administration supported, endorsed, and would carry forward its responsibilities under the agreement, that was an important thing to do.
So I guess we'll see. The phase 2 is going to be a little bit tougher. And